Da-da-da-da. Friends. Da-da-da-da. August 28th, 2022. Virtual Strangers 164 is live. I, of course, am your host, Wes. With me, sometimes on Sunday, but as always, in my heart, my good friend Eric. Eric, how's it going, brother?
What's up, Wes? How
What's
you doing,
up? Welcome to Florida.
Love sunny Florida.
And of course, my good friend Roots. Roots, how you doing this fine Sunday evening, friend?
I'm doing really good, except for I'm a little put off by Eric comes from Florida. He didn't bring us any Mickey. Well, I was expecting like a Goofy back there dancing or something cool.
Some cool background.
But we do have a cool Disney hotel that's probably overpriced, right? So
It's lovely.
What isn't overpriced these days, man? It's like you want a gallon of milk. What's your credit score look like?
yes, the PlayStation 5 just went up a little bit. I saw an article, and everyone was saying it's not going to happen. I think it's going to happen to everything, and we just kind of get ready for it, right?
I bet you Todd wishes he bought his now instead of waiting.
Oh,
Dummy.
really? Roots, the chat saying that my echo's coming through, or my audio is coming through two sources. You see anything else bouncing on there?
It looks like it looks like Eric's is bouncing a little bit with ours for some reason. Eric, what are you doing, bro? Daddy. Cool.
Yo, 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 yo.
Yes. Yes. It's bouncing a little bit with ours. I don't know what to do.
How about now?
You
Better?
got something coming out your computer speakers, Eric? Maybe you have two audio sources active on your
Shouldn't
thing?
be. I muted Discord. Maybe that'll help. Can you hear me?
Oh, didn't hear that.
Check.
No, I tried muting Discord and it's not working, so I don't know.
I don't know.
Is it
That's,
Ninja? Maybe I should mute Ninja?
Yeah, let me
that'd
look at-
be something to try, right?
Yeah, I can mute Ninja.
Hold on. Why is that opening up? Let me look at the Discord. Maybe something's going on here that I can see as well. Say something
Hello,
there.
Vargo Soft.
Check.
Looks to be the case. Yeah.
Check. Oh, okay. Yeah, Eric.
We
Well, this is the thing. I was just thinking, we didn't have enough technical issues before the show because there's always something, right? And today there literally was none. There you go. Now we just fit it in. We're good. We got it out of the way.
we did it.
We did it.
We did.
We did.
Wait, we did it! Oh my god, that was bad.
Yeah. So, but I appreciate the chat letting us know because that's the kind of thing that if nobody says anything, well, twofold. One, the show's fucked because it's gonna be screwed as it's recorded, right? And then the second thing, that means nobody's listening, and that's an even bigger problem. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So good on you, Eric. I wouldn't have even thought about that. Like that went right over my head.
oh yeah, look, guys. Yeah, it says Eric OBS. Okay. Well, that
Okay.
is it, but it's not
It
it.
is
It's clearly through Ninja. How do I pick you up? Actually, hold on. Let me. This is gonna.
Can you capture him from Discord? His audio?
Yeah, it's just we don't have a live source for audio for my audio capture, but say this is gonna capture you as well. I mean, it totally throws
Well, I
everything
can-
off.
Yeah. I could mute in Ninja too, and you just get it from Discord.
Yeah, I guess it was probably what we're gonna have to do. Eric. Okay. Let's see. Audio output. Now
I can hear you, Eric.
the problem we're gonna remember here, I don't know if this is gonna do this or not, but you guys are gonna potentially have a source in the trailer, so I'm gonna have to mute it and make sure that you're not talking, right? Let me see.
I'll just shut the hell up. And by the way, I know I'm muted now. People are going to start saying it.
They're not because We have the source for audio output.
Nice.
Nice. Anybody hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, a
you're
little hot.
way hot. So I'm gonna have to adjust. Okay, so let's get a syphilis check.
That's what she said.
That's what
I
she said.
love syphilis checks all the time. You got to come out of Germany, you got to get a syphilis check.
Well, that's
It's
pretty much
much
what
better than
It's
the
2022,
check.
you know.
It's much better than the what they do when they check for the clap. That's scary stuff, man. So I hear.
Yeah, I've never heard. I don't know what happens there, right? Travelman says he
Anyway,
can hear. Okay.
we did it. We
We
really
did.
did do it this
We
time.
really did it!
Anyway, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we finally got it under control because we have a shit ton of VR to talk about today. And you know what, Eric? You wouldn't know it. Like if you were to go to Upload VR or Road to VR or any of my usual sources, you would think that there was hardly any VR at Gamescom this year. And as you and I both know, totally not the case. Really, the only thing that's on any of the VR news sites, save a couple of games, is Mark Zuckerberg telling everyone what we already knew, and that is Oculus Quest Pro or Cambria, whatever you want to call it, coming in October. No big surprise here, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. I mean, it should be covered.
Uh-oh.
It
Eric,
is
oh,
just not
and there we
good.
go. Huh? I got.
Well,
Hey, well, you're back. You're back. Okay, he's back. What's up? How's your internet there at the hotel? Let's talk about that, Eric.
It was good until just that minute, I guess. I don't know. Who knows?
I
Who
think I,
knows?
I think some of these hotels don't want people just hanging out on the network. So every now and then they just boot everybody and make the ones that are using it log back in.
That's probably good.
Yeah.
That's my theory. I've experienced this before myself at other hotels.
Especially Disney, because Disney does that with their rides. They'll like for the busiest rides, or they used to. They'll
No doubt.
every day at the same fucking time. Because I used to go yearly. They would close certain rides like Splash Mountain or whatever. Let the lines break down. Everyone goes everywhere else, and then like 45 minutes later, they open it again, and it's control. That's how they manage the lines. So.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know if anybody heard what I said there though, but I said Upload should have covered it because Jamie Feltham was there. Oh, but wait, he's not. He's not at Upload anymore. Yeah, he was there for HTC, but of course now he works for HTC. But yeah, I mean, it's funny. There was not a lot of news services I saw there. No Ben Lang, no coverage from Upload that I saw because of course no correspondence from Alex and Skiva. I thought maybe we'd see a few people from Upload, but nothing there. So
Peter
very
Graham,
surprising.
Peter Graham from VR Focus, uh, been MIA for almost 2 months now. I'm starting to get worried about that guy. It's like he just quit deciding to do VR news or metaverse news or whatever. His website's been dead. So yeah, the Jamie Feltham's presence very much being missed in the early days since he moved on. Hopefully they'll get somebody in the know in there pretty soon to cover the news that's out there. It's out there, Eric. You just got to go get it.
Yeah, it's all over
Not,
Gamescom, man. I'm surprised. I mean, it's such a big show that to not have any presence there is a little surprising.
That's crazy.
yeah, and it's funny. It's funny that you say that because you know, again, we just learned that Oculus has a new headset coming in a couple of months, but notoriously not much of a presence at Gamescom this year, huh?
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, they had a contingency of some people there, but no booth. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm of two minds with it. I put a tweet out that basically said, what do you guys? Just basically asking a question. What do you think? I mean, Pico is has a huge booth showing all their headsets, showing all these games, and have lines out the door for people trying to get in there and play these games and demo them on the floor. And there's nothing from Meta, which is I think strange. But on the other hand, I guess they don't really have a headset to show off other than the Quest 2. They're not going to show it here, which they guess they could have. But if you're not going to show it here, what are you going to show? You're going to have a booth of Quest 2s, which would have been fine with me. Show a booth of Quest 2s and show all these flat people how great VR is. Because 90% of the people that are here for this, even though virtual reality was well represented, 90% of the people at Gamescom are there for flat games. And with games like
Right.
Callisto, oh, I don't blame them.
Mash, you told
Right.
me that you had the your partner for After the Fall was somebody that never tried the game, and then Mash goes in there with them, and it's like this crack shot fucking
Yeah.
200-hour person. How crazy is that?
Yeah, and that was some kind of news reporter too, because she had a film crew with her. So I don't know exactly who she was with, but she had a film crew of 2 other people that were helping her film while she was
Wow.
in there doing it. And hell, man, what a partner to get your first time in than Mash Daddy Cool with 200 plus hours.
You're gonna be on
We beat
TV,
that
bro.
bitch.
How
Yeah, I
crazy.
know, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. And they're going to be kicking ass on TV. That's the most important part. You don't want to go on there and like suck at it. That would suck.
You know, when
Yeah.
we talked a couple of weeks ago about Meta taking a step back and how it was going to kind of create a vacuum and a lot of opportunity for other companies to step into the space and gain market share. Did we see anyone taking advantage of the absence of Meta at this year's Gamescom?
Of the absence of Eric. Oh, he's back.
I'm back. It's gonna happen from time to time. You'll see me freeze. Just I'll be back as soon as it clears up.
Did we see anybody there taking advantage, any competitors taking advantage of the lack of a Meta presence on the show floor?
Definitely Pico.
Pico.
Pico. Well, I would
Pico.
imagine for sure they're going to take advantage of every chance Meta's not there, right? Because they're a direct
Yeah,
competitor.
and you know, to be honest, a lot of the games we're going to be talking about today were being demoed on the show floor, but that was all because of Pico sponsoring different booths and showing off games at the same time that they're showing off their hardware.
Yeah, and then big games were at Pico booth too. Pico was showing After the Fall at the Pico party. There was a Pico after party on first night of Gamescom. Or actually, I'm sorry, the day before Gamescom. So Tuesday night there was a Pico Neo party. At like night, 8 o'clock at night at an outside bar, and they had a whole room designated just to show After the Fall with the Vertigo team there, showing After the Fall, showing the new Horde map to everybody in that party. So the Boombox people were there for Pico. There was several developers there for Pico, including Jupitergrad guys and just a whole bunch of people for that party. And again, they had the biggest booth there for VR.
That's
They're
smart. Like,
going to work, ain't they?
what developer's not going to want to be on Pico? I mean, we say the same rate. It's China. Billions of people. You know what I mean? And their VR is big. Like, to me, that's like, it's sad to say. Like, I think that the Pico is going to have no problem getting these developers to jump on board, especially with the way Meta treats their developers.
Yeah, and China's one thing, but it's not just going to be China anymore.
Yeah,
Like
true.
in just a few short months, Pico, at least by all indications, is very much planning on making a name for themselves on the global stage, and you know, having this nice little stable of developers in your pocket going into you know, the holiday season is not a bad thing. You know, it kind of blows my mind, Eric, because you know, not only are you there covering what you see, but we have people like VR Oasis, people like Gamertag VR, people who are higher up in the hierarchy of Meta ambassadors. But what are they talking about on their channels this week? It ain't Meta. They're talking about Pico.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to when you see, this huge booth. It's actually was like 3 big booths together that, that Pico was showing. And if in the lack of presence of something else, what are you going to talk about? You got to talk about Picos. And because, we're all looking for VR to be supported greatly, especially in a flat game, you know, focused environment, when we see a huge VR booth that people are flocking to, I'm happy to see it. Again, most of my ecosystem is rooted in Quest. I mean, that's basically what my name of my show is Q2C VR Gamer. That's Quest 2 Community VR Gamer. So I want to see Meta do well. I want to see Meta come out and kick ass. I want to see Pico do well. I want to see all these virtual reality headsets do well. So I'm just waiting for Meta to figure out what they're going to do, and I'm sure they'll do something. And I don't think they're going anywhere. They're going to support gaming. I just wish they would have done it here in front of everybody. I'm hearing that there may be a Connect coming up, but flat gamers aren't going to go watch Connect. They're not going to go to
Right.
Connect. They're going to go to Gamescom.
You know, I got a new. I got the new Pico Oculus. That's the Oculus I have.
I know, that's what I want too. I want the Pico Oculus.
Anyway, I just want to congratulate you and GT and Mike from VR Oasis, Sebastian, everyone who's there. Congratulations on successfully establishing your Chinese intelligence file. They've got all your pictures and all your info now, bro. Congrats.
Have at it, baby.
Have at
Have
it.
at
All,
it.
all of a sudden, weird shit starts happening. And the Master's like, "What's happening?"
Well, I'm like, that's like forever. I mean, people have been freaked out about the Facebook thing. They're gonna get all my data. Who gives a shit? Unless you think you're some important fucking person that people gives a shit about your data. What do you care? I mean, I don't get it. People relax. Just go play your VR and be happy.
My thing is I take the opposite. I feel like there's a time and a place to be cautious, you know, and to flippantly say, you know, hey, you know, it's paranoid. You're not doing anything. You shouldn't be worried about being watched. It's just, it's the level that the TikTok, you know, recording your keystrokes, bro. Like, just that's big. Like, we don't read the terms of service, and that's the problem. And like at some point, like
they make the terms of service intentionally impossible to read. It wouldn't matter if we did read it because you can't understand any of it.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. Like, we're fucked either way. But like, if
That's what it is for me. I'm just resigned to the fact that we're fucked. So I just was like, I might as well enjoy VR while I'm being fucked as it is. So
I don't like the way Meta runs things, and I've been very vocal about it. And something tells me not the Chinese people, the CCP, run things a little worse. And that, so like, I have to assume that if it's in China, it's got its hands in. I don't know, man. This is just, it's a crazy time.
Either way, Pico definitely making their presence felt on the Gamescom stage as well as the world stage. A lot more to come on that in a very short amount of time. So be sure that you've clicked the button and ring the bell if you haven't already. But you know, Pico making their presence felt. All the meantime, Sony lurking in the shadows as their next generation creeps ever closer. I heard that Shuhei Yoshida was even there in attendance, even though they didn't have a booth and an official presence. I heard he was there ninja style, just like they did for GDC.
Was he cool, Mash?
Yeah.
What did he? I mean, I know you hung out with him.
I wish. Nathan was hanging out with him. I saw a picture with Nathan. And
I'm sure, dude. He's like one of the biggest people.
But I mean, he was just walking around the show floor. I mean, that picture that they took, they was just in the middle of the show floor. So I'm sure he's looking around to see what's going on too. And yeah, I mean, I know Sony was there having meetings. I don't know which division of Sony, or whether it was Sony Immersive or Sony Interactive, but they were there doing meetings. Just not, no presence at GDC like booth wise.
And who can blame them for meeting up with Nathan? Because if you look across all of YouTube, who on YouTube knows PSVR more than Nathan?
Oh yeah, that's true. I thought he's definitely the biggest out there. But I'll tell you what, PSVR without parole would be I'd say that everybody on that channel.
What's that?
Yeah, what's that?
I've never heard of that. Is that do they do Oculus?
We should get him to do some Oculus.
Anyway, Eric, we found out while you were there that Sony, or I guess Capcom, is going to be giving live PSVR 2 demos in just a few weeks at the Tokyo Game Show. Does this make you any more excited for PAX West? Because I mean, who knows if they're starting to allow these developers to use the hardware for demos. I mean, PAX West is a pretty big show, right?
It is, but I canceled my tickets this morning and bought tickets to Japan, so I'm headed to Tokyo. We'll see you guys.
Are you being serious?
No, what's funny,
I'm
Eric,
not even sure you can get into Tokyo right now, to be honest with
what's
you.
funny, I was
That's
just
a
gonna
good
ask you,
point.
Eric, when I got a shot in there to say, ask you about your trip to Japan, to Tokyo, because like, of course you're going, right? But
Uh, I mean, who would want to go to the Tokyo Game Show? That sounds freaking amazing. But no,
Tokyo
I
in
don't.
general sounds amazing. It's like one
Yeah.
of the coolest places to go.
Yeah, I don't know though. I mean, uh, that's a whole other level of weirdness, man. When you go to the most eastern part of the map that you can go to, like in Germany, you know, you could be pretty comfortable because they all speak English. I'm not so sure this is the case in Japan.
Yeah, I would say most don't. And holy crap, man, I'm almost dead coming back from Germany, where it's a 6-hour difference.
This
It would kill me to go to Japan.
this is the thing about Japan, though. You could literally leave your laptop on your desk on the table in a cafe, and nobody's gonna touch shit like that. I wish people were like that here, because you aren't gonna turn your head for 5 seconds, and that laptop's gone out the door.
They're not just like super nice and respectful though. They're just afraid that they're going to get some kind of rare strain of the flu or something that's going to kill them all.
Let's hope not.
But yeah, I mean, I hope that this correlates and we could possibly see something. I was talking to, I think it was Alex or Skiva the other day, and I was just saying, man, do you think there's any chance? And I don't know. I keep saying I think there's going to be some chance, but I just don't think so at this point. I mean, if they're going to do private showings at the Capcom booth, I still think that we need to see something from Sony, right? They're going to want to announce it their own way. So I don't think we're
That,
going to see that first. I think we have to see that
I
first.
agree. We're going to see that first, as in we're going to see that before Tokyo Game Show.
Right.
The PS5 showcase, digital showcase. I would almost bet anything will be between now and then. So by the time that these shows roll around, we should have pricing information. We should have a lot more information with regards to what the launch lineup is going to be. And I'm hell, pre-orders might even be open by the time you go to PAX.
Holy shit! Can you imagine?
That's
I
crazy.
can. I've been imagining it for 3 years now.
I would freak
Every
out.
day.
I'd be like,
Uh,
honey, just so you know, I need to pre-order my PlayStation VR 2 headset and my Cambria headset this month or next month.
Do them both on Amazon, and then you don't have to pay
Oh yeah,
for
there you go.
ships.
I
If
could
you can
sell
get them
my
both on
car.
Amazon,
Yeah, sell my car. Maybe I'll do that.
Mm.
seriously.
Which again, we make jokes, but we don't really know how much the Meta headset's going to cost. We have no idea. Most people seem to think it's going to be around $1,500. But maybe between now and then, Meta sees the tea leaves and they see the writing on the wall, and they know that competition is coming to the space, and maybe they want to subsidize it a little bit more than they originally intended to. That would be pretty cool, right?
That would be.
Yeah, I hope so.
Anyway, we have a shit ton of awesome games to talk about today. Just banger after banger after banger after banger. So we need to get into it pretty quickly here. But before we do that, let's kick it off the way we always do by saying hello to our friends in chat. Well, Raza is here. He says that Germans are very nice to tourists. They don't want any vibes that Germany tends to be known for. Yeah. You guys, you hear? I don't know if you're history buffs or anything, but yeah, Germany has a bit of a past, I hear.
Yeah, yeah. I heard that. Actually, but the whole world has a lot of past. That's the thing, man.
That's
Everybody
very
acts
true.
like there's like only select groups of people, and it's like, man, you go back far enough, every single group has been fucked up to another group at some point, and we've now become civilized, right? Isn't that what they say, like the 1800s?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think we had become civilized, but we're kind of
we're descending back. We're regressing
Yeah.
backwards. Yeah, it is happening.
They are super nice to other Germans, man. They
yeah.
treated me like gold over there.
How cool
not
is
that I'm
that?
anybody, but everybody there is so nice, man. And anybody, they were like, it's such an easy language to learn. They were trying to help me learn, teaching me some words and stuff. And I'm like, okay.
I've heard that about
Um,
the EU in general. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of there's shitty people everywhere, but I've heard that in general the people are nice.
Yeah, people are great. It is a little bit more difficult to pick up the language because they use a different syntax than we
Mm.
do. The way their sentences are structured is different than the way
It's
we
wrong.
talk.
It's like driving
So
on
it
the.
sounds weird to us. If you do a direct translation, it sounds weird. It sounds like they talk like Yoda, right? The way that they say, like, instead of saying the desk is here, they'll say something uh, like the desk here is, or it's stuff like that. Just a different way of putting words together. But yeah,
E-
super cool people.
Even different dialects too. I happen to be with a developer of Andromeda Entertainment for a game called Solar Black. He's from Austria, and he lives in Vienna. And he said that he has to be careful how he speaks when he goes to, into somewhere like Cologne or Frankfurt because the dialect is so different. He was actually talking to somebody in German, and the guy didn't have any idea what he was saying.
Mm.
So it's like it's not like here where we just like in America we just have different accents. There they have different types of dialect for the same language that can really screw things up. So I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, this is the type of thing you encounter when the place that you live is older than 200 years old. you know. Anyway, Daniel Kaz is here. Bluebell is here. Silver is here. Um, Technological glitch says, "What, the PSVR went up to $5.99?" Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Well, maybe a little bit. Tatum's here. What's up, Tatum? Hussein X is here. Gary's here. Immersed Robot, good to see you. He says Sebastian from MRTV is a genuinely lovely guy.
Good.
So you just missed Sebastian this
I
time around,
did by
right?
like 10 minutes, man.
Did you really? What are you
Yeah, he
doing?
was. We were at a party together, and he ended up having to get a train back to where he lives in Germany, and I missed him by like 10 minutes. I got to the party just a little bit too late.
Mash,
Maybe
it's
next
like
year, huh?
Next time,
whatever you were
maybe.
doing for that delayed you like 30 minutes. You're like second guessing it for like the next year. Fuck, man. If
Son
I
of a
just.
bitch.
I know what you can do, Eric. You talked about going back there on a vacation, and your wife is literally going to hate me in about 30 seconds. But you could go back, and Sebastian does this thing over there called the MRTV Experience,
Oh,
where he has people come in and he has like this whole big wall of headsets. You can try out whatever you want, talk VR with him. It's a pretty cool thing he does. So maybe if you're on vacation and you have a couple hours to kill,
Yeah,
my
maybe
God,
visit my friend.
I go to the MRTV headquarters.
that'd be
Yeah,
cool,
man.
right? That'd be good content.
I
For
think I've
both.
tried most of those headsets, but yeah,
Yeah, I think you have most of them, or at least have had them at one point in time.
yeah.
Rob Perry is here. Um, Todd's here. What's up, Todd? Greg's VR is here as well. Mickey Barrios, hello, hello. Um, Daniel Kaz in the house. Good to see you. Michelle B. Sim is here. Feb USA if says we're all effed.
Yeah,
That's
that's
exactly
That is true.
100% accurate. Yeah.
World,
That is
worldwide.
true.
And people realize it's worldwide. We're all left.
We are.
Chris 9989. Good to see you, friend. Traveling man here as usual. Good to see you. Artful is here. Alex VR, good to see you. Alex says Gamescom looked like a damn good time. Yeah, it did, didn't it? GT went live the other morning from the show floor and streamed like for an hour from his phone, just walking around that place. Man, it looked massive, like
It was.
huge.
It's too big. It's too big. Literally, it's too big. You can't see everything, and it's so convoluted where you have to go, and there's so many people. Damn, Wes, it was like Christmas for us.
You know who never says it's too big?
My mom.
It's a true story.
Yes, she does.
This is true. This is true. Diz the Game Cat is here. Chinatown D, good to see you, D. Good to play with D last night. Well, I guess we'll talk about that here in just a moment.
Signals. Hand signals. D.
Decepticon is in the house. Good to see you. Oh, yeah. What's up, Mepper? Mepper's here. Who else? Salem Maru is here. After I scroll up this much, I get really afraid I'm going to start repeating names again. Vargosoft, I think I said hi to already. Maybe not. Hello, Vargosoft. Who else?
You know, there's somebody
Zach's
out
here.
there that's like, you know what? He said Vargosoft twice and he didn't say my name. That's bullshit. It's personal.
Yeah.
How dare you?
How dare you?
If this
How
is what
dare
you're
you?
thinking,
I met her
this
there.
is-
No, just kidding.
if this is what you're thinking, go on back to Rec Room. You can catch the replay later.
Yeah.
Space Denison is here, making a push for Half-Life 2 VR to be considered for Game of the Year.
Or Deep Rock Galactic, I heard.
Yeah, that too. Fourth Wall Breaker, hello. Berber Cat is here. Good to see you. Ryan Brannon is here as well. Rift Traveler. What's up, Rift Traveler? I think we might be getting close to the top here. And that's all that I can see in my my window here. If I missed you, hello. Sorry, I didn't see your name. But welcome everybody. Welcome to what promises to be a pretty awesome group of headlines. And wouldn't you know it, all of this week's headlines came directly from Germany.
All right. I silenced them. I got the floor to myself. Actually, okay, I just realized I was telling them during the break that there's no source for them. So I gotta go back to the other scene and copy this because I want it at the same level. And I'll bring them back in and then I'll fix it. I'll fix it ahead of time, guys. I promise.
Dude.
I try. Okay, wait. Yep, there we go. Oh, I don't want to do the virtual camera. I think we're good. Now you guys can hear.
You can just read the articles if you want, man. I'll just chill out here.
No, man. I'll tell you what. You want to see? I'm good on the fly. I just want to see Root start stumbling. I have me start reading a script or start reading shit. I'm a very good reader. I just I don't operate that way.
Anyway, this one comes from Android Central, Thomas Meyer. After the fall, VR gets new season next month and Pathcraft coming to Oculus Quest 2. Virtual reality game publisher Vertigo Games announced new features for first-person shooter After the Fall and two of its upcoming games during Gamescom week. Multiplayer shooter After the Fall will be launching a new season of content starting next month on September 15th. The Reclamation season will be free for all players, and it adds new weapons, new modes, several maps, and several quality of life features. The game's last major update in April had brought many changes, fixes, and hardware optimizations. Eric, as I look down your itinerary and for all the stuff you got to demo while you were on the show floor, I got to think the surprise out of all of it was just how much Vertigo Games was showing off here. Because from what I understand, the demo that you guys took on had quite a bit of new stuff in it, right?
It was, and they were basically letting you play the whole harvest map. So, two modes that I know of right now. They do have a new horde mode map that I got to try. They were only demoing at that Pico after party, and the new harvest run map that you got to play. And if you were good enough, you could actually get, because they give you about a half an hour or so. And if you were good enough and you ran quickly enough, you could actually get through that whole map. You know, and
So what you're saying is that no one person staying at the top of the zip line while the other person runs through the whole level.
yeah, you're not muling you know, your resources from one spot to the other in this no way.
No bomb piles.
No bomb piles.
Well, that sucks, man. I would have just quit right there.
It's the perfect thing for Roots. I think that was one of the things he hated the most was carrying those freaking bombs from one spot to the other.
Why couldn't they do this? Like, you've got a slot for one. Why can't they let you hold 7 bombs, 7 syringes? They know people are stacking them up anyway. Like, if I've bought them, why can't I hold a whole bunch of shit in there and let me not just carry it along? Wouldn't that make it more sense and make it more streamlined?
Yeah,
makes
let me
sense
buy
to
a
me.
back. You know, let me have to get like a certain amount of harvest, or let you get a certain spot. You know, you got to pay so much, and you can buy a backpack out of the machine or something at some point.
The
That'd be cool.
bottom line from our play last night, what I've relearned, there's no way you're doing it without all those, especially those big bombs that West, you know, the industrial ones or whatever. Like, you're gonna you have to buy every round. They give you the opportunity to buy every single round. They know people are carrying them through. So please, Vertigo Games, Skiva, let's get it done. Thank you.
Anyway, you know, after the fall, our game of the year last year, which it is debatable, but what's not really debatable is that this is a pretty great game, although not perfect. We had some criticisms of it, even at the time that it launched, and what really um, impressed me the most about what I'm reading here and what I'm hearing here is that this next season addresses pretty much everything that we had criticized it for, right? I mean, first of all, new bosses coming, right?
Yeah, definitely. This map, this harvest map that I had a completely new boss. It was freaking awesome. There was actually almost 2 bosses in there. Um, so it was basically like a huge sprawl monster. It's sprawl, but it's like alive. Comes up out of the floor, and what happens? It starts there's like a noxious gas or like a poisonous gas that it starts to like let out in the room that will slowly start to kill you, and it's got those sprawl points all over it, and you have to shoot them, and you have to get all of them till it'll drop back down into the floor, and you have to do that a couple of times, and then once you do that, you get to a point where you see twin.
Oh God, he's
Twin,
leaving me on the edge here.
a
Damn
twin,
it.
twin, twin. Roots. Oh, let me just ask you. We went in there last night and played for about 3 hours, and if I'm not mistaken, that was your first time being in there, even since the last update, the Boulevard update. How did it live up versus your expectations? Because I know you haven't been enthusiastic about this game for
Uh,
some time.
no, I trash it every time I get a chance to. If somebody brings up how good it is, I'm like, dude, let me tell you, I'm an expert. I put 100 hours in. I'll tell you what, everything. I mean, obviously, I'm playing on a better graphics card and system than the last time I played, but everything ran perfect. It looked good. The fact that we backed out to go pick up somebody, I guess it was Spry Guy, right after we played the first match, because Mash dropped out and then he had to go to bed. And Wes is talking to me and he's like, oh yeah, and notice we're still in the same group. And I thought that was just the quality of life changes. And I just had a lot of fun, a lot more fun than I thought I would, remembering back, so it seems like, especially with them adding bosses and changing things up, I thought that map that we played I'd never done it before, was really cool. The ripped screen, like just everything about it was super cool. And then watching Dee's reactions, because she played PCVR for the first time in there, but she had audio jank because that's what comes with Quest Link, and so she was miming, right? Like, just it was so much fun. It was fun.
Enthusiastic miming. Yeah, you also got a chance to see a couple of the new guns that have been
Oh
added
yeah, the Tommy gun.
since then, and we're getting more of that with this update, right, Eric? There's some cool new weapons.
Yeah, I assume I must have froze out there for a second, guys, when I was in
Yes.
my.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So just to finish off, the twin juggernauts that come at you, one of them has a weapon.
Oh
One of them
wow.
has a machine gun. Just to say it, tell that to everybody. It's freaking crazy.
Oh.
You're like you have this one that just comes at you like crazy, and the other one kind of like hangs back, and you're not sure why. And all of a sudden you turn around and there's a freaking he's got a machine gun on him. So
What is this footage that we're watching? This is your gameplay, right, from Gamescom, right?
yeah, this is the level. This is the level that I'm telling you about now. That's why I kind of can tell everybody because it's not really a secret. They let us play the entire level, which is fantastic. But yeah, the gun I'm using right here that you see is a brand new gun in the game, and it's an auto shotgun.
Oh my
No more
god.
freaking pumping that shotgun anymore, and
Uh,
it just hauls, man. You can just keep hitting it, and you have to reload it. You know, you don't can't like the other shotgun. You didn't really have to reload it; just kind of auto reloaded. This one you have to like still, eject the magazine and
hmm.
pull it to your chest if you're doing an auto reload. But it's so fast and it's devastating. It just mows zombies down like
I
a
can hear Wolvie freaking out right now. Wolvie, it's okay. You don't have to use the auto shotgun. I was using that pump shotgun last night, and it's tricky, right? You have to get a good rhythm. So
Yeah, it's that action is the reason why I don't use it more because especially with inside out tracking, every now and then it'll miss a movement, and when you're in like the heat of a big horde run or a big wave during a harvest run, you can't have any mistakes. Even the smallest one can get you killed. So I just tend to avoid
hmm,
using the shotgun right now unless it's a last resort. But if I don't have to pump it between shots anymore, that's a game changer for me.
yeah, it looks
You
good.
know who else likes you know who else likes to pump it?
My mom!
Over and over again.
My mom!
So yeah, this is the final boss battle you can see right here that I'm about to jump into, and yeah, I mean this level looks gorgeous. It's probably and I love all these Harvest Run maps. They all look great to me, and Boulevard's amazing looking. This by far is the craziest map, man. It is gorgeous. It's just like you're outside, you're inside, you're zip lining between skyscrapers, like up on the top floors. So it's kind of set in between like buildings that are almost falling over onto each other. And here's that basically that sprawl that comes up on the floor, and you can see all this green poisonous gas that it just pumps into the air. And yeah, it's gorgeous, man. I didn't know how if they could make better horde run maps or harvest run maps, but they have, man. They look awesome.
Do you think they'll ever have the good sense to read the room and string all of these harvest runs together into a campaign?
That would be a great idea. I mean, they're listening. You know what I mean? Like I said, like you were just saying. I mean, they have addressed a lot of the issues that we have all said. You know, we said we want more bosses. That was one of the biggest things, right? We only have like basically one boss, maybe two, if you kind of count the other one as a different boss. Here they give us a brand new boss battle. You know what I mean? And I don't know how often we're going to see this. I would love to see it where you don't know what kind of boss you're going to get. If you have a couple of different bosses, it could be on any map, and I don't know if that's the case or not. This could be just the boss for this map. They haven't told me. But could you imagine that if you just didn't know and you had two or three bosses that just spawned, by chance?
Random. Yeah, random
Yeah.
is always
Yeah,
good.
that would be pretty cool. Yeah, when you're talking about a game like this, that's so built around repetition and returning to the same thing over and over again, any kind of spontaneity is gold in an experience like this. So you're right, that would be pretty outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is coming quite soon. I can't remember if I read off
September 15th.
September 15th. Man, September is going to be a crazy month
It is,
for
dude.
VR. I mean, it's going to be nuts. Um, anyway, that's not all that Vertigo was there to show. They actually have recently made new publishing deals with super amazing developers, and we're about to all enjoy the fruit of that collaboration. Hellsweeper VR shows off undead slaying action in new gameplay trailer. This from Hardcore Gamer. In 2018, developers Mixed Realms gave us Sirento VR, easily one of the year's best VR games due to its insanely fun action. So when the trailer for their new game calls it, quote, one of the most anticipated games of 2022, that isn't really hyperbole. The game in question is Hellsweeper VR, and the trailer in question is a brand new gameplay trailer that was revealed recently at Gamescom 2022 edition of the Future Game Show, which says which you can check out below, but obviously you can't because you're not on this page. The setup for the game so far is pretty simple. Just take out the legions of demonic rogue souls plaguing hell. Doing so will have you apparently pushing the limits of movement in VR, pulling off wall running, power slides, backflips, and more with an action packed locomotion system. Players also get to wield a ton of weapons and skills, some with elemental powers, battling different enemy types with multiple variants over 16 maps in an insane roguelike adventure, going it solo or with friends in co op. Hellsweeper VR is due out in Q4 this year for Quest and Steam VR, and should indeed be one for VR fans to watch out for. Eric, when we played this, it was an alpha or beta, whatever, early version that we played of Hellsweeper VR. We were all blown away with it back then. But judging from the footage that I've seen here and other places, the things that people are saying, they've really put a lot of polish into this experience since then.
They have, and sometimes this happens, right? I mean, when you get a team, it's almost like with In Death Unchained, right? It started PC. I mean, we got two different developers here, which is a little bit different because it's super bright, with the Quest 2 version. But it's kind of the same thing, though. Is they've put they started with the PC version, which was fantastic, but they've actually upped it a little.
Roots, what do you think about this this new Hellsweeper trailer? I mean, it looks like it's a lot more fleshed out. It looks more like a finished product, even though it still has months to go before launch.
Yeah, it looks phenomenal. The models of all the enemies, like how many games do we go into in VR in the first gen where like even the gameplay wasn't this sophisticated or amazing, and the enemies were generic and they weren't that unique, and I guarantee you're gonna get in the headset and be like, oh my god, that looks fucking crazy, and this thing's attacking you. And I kind of, this is my thought process, and this is gonna sound a little petty, and it's nothing against the newbies coming into VR, but I'm kind of pissed that you guys get this shit right off the bat. I had to deal with all the fucking tech demo bullshit for 4 or 5 years. These are amazing. This thing looks amazing. My jaw was almost dropping watching it.
Eric, this is a great example of something that I'm sure you encountered a few times while you're on the show floor there, and that is just how the graphical quality level of VR games is increasing quickly now. There's so many good games just around the corner that are displaying visuals that we didn't quite think was possible not that long ago.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I get cut off again. Sorry, guys. I don't know how much you caught there. It's just I can't believe that they put this game to the Quest 2, and the amount of detail and what they're doing. I don't know if you heard what I said, but I liken it to Super Bright and what they did with In Death Unchained. Now this is the same team, but man, it's just it seems like when they have more time to put more things into it. They almost make a different game. In this game, there's so much different in this game. It looks so good. I cannot believe, because the movement's so fast, I can't believe this is on the Quest 2, because that's what this game is all about. It's gorgeous, but it's all about movement, right? I mean, this is the Sirento people. This is all about movement and being able to feel like a freaking badass and jumping through all these environments, double jumping. You can actually, they have a move now where you can use magic with your hands, right? And you have fire magic. Well, you can take the fire magic, and if you have enough mana built up, you can shoot the fire magic out and be like freaking Iron Man and just fly around the levels with your fire magic. you can mix magic with one hand and the other, so you can use your electric magic and your freeze magic to make like a special effect. And the same thing with your fire, so you can there's different ways you can use your magic now, and it just looks gorgeous. I don't know how they did it. A lot
Mm.
of these developers are getting so good at knowing what to do with this XR2 chip and get these games on there. Games that we would have never thought would have made it on there are making it on there.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
so I knew that you were demoing this one this week. I did not know that you were demoing the standalone version.
Mm.
Well, I didn't actually demo the standalone version. I
Oh,
demoed
okay,
the PC version, but they kind of showed me a little bit of what it's going to look like. And the gameplay is going to be one-to-one. They said nothing's going to be different, and the graphics are going to be a little bit less. Of course, it's not going to be exactly PC, but from what I saw of the other stuff, it looks phenomenal. Like it blew my mind. I was like, "You sure this is the PC version?" And they're like, or the Quest 2 version. They're like, "Yep." So, yeah, it's crazy. It's going to be amazing.
Well, I just heard that
Root,
Sony needs to do Infamous. Then, if they, I mean, everything you just described sounds like Infamous, all over again. So
God, I would love that so much.
pretty crazy, right?
A great
Movement
game.
system would work, man. If you could do this, this type of movement, you could do that
You could slide
easy. That
easy.
sliding on the electric power lines and shit like that, that would be amazing.
It would be.
Roots. Maybe a few months ago, it would have. I would have had a little skepticism about what Eric's saying here about the standalone version, but coming off of Red Matter 2, which we covered a few days ago, anything's possible now, right? Like I don't put any kind of cap on what the standalone headset's capable of anymore because I've seen what it can do now.
Yeah, absolutely. I already had seen it with Shadowgate, and then Red Matter just fucking like I still don't understand what the hell like how they're doing that. It's just so good. Similar premise, right? Though about rebuilding, doing room by room and destroying the one area, and before you rebuild, as you're rebuilding the next with a transfer system or something, and it works. And yeah, I agree. I definitely think that it's going to be amazing. So
Yeah,
Yeah, it's going to be
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah, and just looking at the quality of this trailer they put out, a lot of times you see a game like this link up with a publisher like Vertigo, and it makes you wonder. People already wanted to play this game. Why would they want to cut a publisher in on the deal? Like, why wouldn't they just want to self-publish, keep all the money? Well, when you see a trailer like that, I mean, it gets me pumped up, and it becomes really obvious, really quick, why you might want to bring someone in with the expertise of a Vertigo Games to help you market your game, and I'm sure that they help in more ways than just marketing. Obviously, if you have a high-profile Quest port, those people who have experience with that sort of thing can be of a great help. So I think it's a good move here, linking up with Vertigo, and I can't wait. Can't wait to get my hands on this one.
yeah,
So it's so smart. It makes so much sense. I mean, just if you have a team and you're just looking for sometimes with a publisher, you're just looking for guidance. What should we focus on? How do we do this better? How do we make this better? So a lot of times you have the technical expertise and knowing what you need to do. You just need to focus on how to do it, especially when you're a smaller team and you don't have the amount of people that say a big publisher does. So when you get more people involved and people that know how to make VR games, all that little bit helps just to say this is where you should focus, and if you can narrow your path of your vision of what you're doing, you can make something special.
yeah, true.
Yeah, and I think that this game could be special because this was one of those rare instances where they just had it right off the bat. The gameplay, and by the way, we just at that point in time only had a fraction of what the gameplay is. Like they gave us a limited demo with limited levels and limited weapons and abilities, and it was still great. It felt like they could have released it as a game within a couple of months from then. So yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on this. It's one of my most highly anticipated releases that still set to come this year. Um, but I mean, this is a bit of a recurring theme on today's show, right? Because we had After the Fall, high, fast paced, high action, uh, intense game. We have Hellsweeper, high paced, high action, intense game. Surely there weren't any more of these types of games on the show floor at Gamescom.
You, of all people, have the audacity to question me? You, who emerged from the putrid waters of the bayou to plunder our righteous gains and cut our throats like a demon in the night. What have you done to ensure the future of this forsaken city? You, who have brought nothing but chaos. When death was swallowing this city whole, it was I who resurrected it. It was I who shined as a beacon of hope for all. The tower cries out for blood, and I vow to spill it. When the bells ring, the song they sing will be righteous. Welcome home, tourist.
New Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 gameplay footage and details revealed. This from Harry Baker at Upload VR. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 will bring new features, weapons, and locations. Here are the details and some accompanying gameplay. We recently sat in on a hands-off preview event for Saints and Sinners Chapter 2, where developers Skydance Interactive gave us a look at some brand new gameplay and detailed some new features coming in Retribution. You can check out snippets of gameplay in the video that, well, I guess you can't. You can go to Upload and check it out. Actually, Roots, if you want to click on it, you can.
I'm just trying to find this for some reason. This article is done. This is twice now. When I had it pulled up before, it was like all of a sudden it just disappeared as a source, and so I don't know what OBS wants me to look bad, but you know, bro, it's not gonna happen. OBS, I'm gonna fix it.
I told you, man. I told you we can't take shit from Upload VR. They'll shut us down quick.
Yeah. And this is another thing. Look at how it looks on there. So because it's on that monitor, it does that. So I have to move it to this one to make it look normal. That's not the right thing.
You just gotta click and drag that corner out, and
no, but it was like it won't let me. It's just weird. Dude.
There it is.
Yeah. Now I just fixed it.
Perfect.
It's weird. I just but it's fixed. That's all that matters.
It's Upload, dude.
It's Upload. Yeah.
Anyway, you can check out snippets of gameplay footage on the video listed here, provided by Skydance Interactive. Oh, so it is provided by Skydance Interactive. My bad. If you want to click on that link, I don't know if it'll break your thing there, Roots, but feel free to do it.
Yeah, let me find it again. It's on here somewhere.
Retribution will feature new locations, one of which is Sonny's Pawn Shop. Operated by the fast-talking wheeler and dealer Sonny, you'll be able to update your mission tasks and trade for supplies using a sliding door under the counter. Trading with Sonny will open up. I'm sorry.
Which link? The Walking Dead Saints and Sinner Chapter 2 link?
just click. Yeah, I was just saying you can click play on that video if you want, so people can catch some of the footage.
There we go.
That's all. Anyway, trading with Sonny will open up options for crafting and collecting survival gear. In fact, Skydance told us that crafting is greatly expanded in Retribution and now includes more recipes, more materials, and a new set of crafting tables. It's probably a good thing because you're going to need all the gear you can scavenge if you want to survive on the streets at night. That's right. Chapter 2 will allow the tourists to travel around the city at night, which comes with increased risk and more walkers. While operating at night, you'll be able to use some new tools to guide your way, including a flashlight and flares. However, walkers are sensitive to light. Use your flashlight too much and you'll draw attention. That being said, you might want to use flares to do just that. Throw one in the opposite direction, and you might be able to draw some walkers away. Chapter 2 will also feature a brand new area of New Orleans, the French Quarter. Tower guards will be roaming the streets, so you'll have to be vigilant, but you might find some new items laying around. One of these is a new laser sight, which can be attached to almost any firearm for better headshots and accuracy. There's also some new weapons, such as the submachine gun and, of course, the chainsaw. The Retribution announcement trailer gave us a short peek at the chainsaw in action, and after seeing it more, it definitely looks like it'll be a lot of fun. To get it started, you'll have to rip the motor cord and hold on with both hands while wielding. The controllers will rumble in sync with the motor, and haptic feedback will make it feel like you're getting stuck when you slice through a walker, giving some extra realism. The footage closes out with a short but terrifying glimpse at the Axeman, the villain teased in previous installments and presumably one of Chapter 2's main antagonists. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution is set for release later this year on PCVR, Quest 2, and the original PSVR headset, with a PSVR 2 release to follow in 2023. Eric, I got to imagine that out of all the demos that took place on the Gamescom floor this past week, this has to be one of your favorites, right?
Yeah, it was this and After the Fall for me. I mean, you guys know how much I love After the Fall, so I was so jazzed for that. But this game is amazing, man. I love this game. I love the original game, um, and it's just more great. I mean, there's nothing earth shattering here. It doesn't look any better. Maybe it looks a little better, but it's not like this is a completely different game. This is just more great. If a game is already great, you don't need to reinvent the whole game, right? Give me more story. Give me more of what was great in the beginning, and tweak a few things here and there, and that's what they have done, and it is freaking amazing.
Roots, I think it's pretty obvious at this point that this is a true Chapter 2 to the original game. And what I mean by that is, typically when we talk about what makes a great sequel, is that it's a step up in every category. Well, this seems to be literally a big step up in every category, except graphically. It looks like it's done in the same engine. The game looks and sounds very similar to the original. But with that said, the original is the game that we refer to as the best game in VR, even to this day. So, do you have a problem with this not being redone, in terms of art and graphics, or are you just like me, happy to be getting a whole new story campaign with upgraded features, upgraded crafting, upgraded everything except for visuals?
Yeah, no, I mean, if like you said, the original looks amazing, I'm not put off. If it looked like shit, then I'd be like, man, they made it look like shit again. I'm really happy that they kept it the way it is. My thing is, I just want another story. I want a new area. Awesome Tatum saying in the chat, how surreal it's going to be to, and I won't have this experience. I've never been to the French Quarter, but to walk around areas of New Orleans that you maybe have been to, that you've actually, and seeing it, because it sounds like they've recreating at least some to some extent. And my thing is I would hope that these buildings there's more searchable places and places to go in. Mash, are you able to say anything more than what you've talked about, or is it because I know that was one of the biggest things you wanted, Wes, right? Was you had all these houses, but you could only go in a couple, right? Or some of them.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it was a limited gameplay, you know what I mean? You're seeing a couple of different areas, so I couldn't tell you. I couldn't like go to different like houses to see if you could get in, but I don't know. I don't think I would be that open. I don't think it's probably going to be that much open world more than the first one was, right?
Yeah, I don't expect that that we're going to see much more in terms of playable area from the maps. But what I do think we're going to have is a lot more maps. Like, I think we're going to have a lot more areas. I think all of the areas from the original game, or most of them, will be present in this game. Plus, we're going to get whole new areas of the city, like the French Quarter, like downtown around the tower. So while sure there's going to be still a lot of houses that I'm not able to scavenge and occupy, there's going to be a lot more area. It's going to be a lot bigger game in general, and I assume they're going to let you progress at your own pace the way they did in the first one. So moral of the story is I'm never going to finish this game. I'm just going to play it forever.
Yeah. Now, Onakazi says that did they say they were drawing from real world maps and data, or is it the team's interpretation of the French Quarter? No, it's 1-to-1. No, I have no idea. That's why I kind of as I was saying it, I started to kind of pull them back because I have no idea how they do it. But even if it's just the team's interpretation, it's still going to be surreal to be walking around. You're going to know it's the French Quarter, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, and you know, Eric, I'm okay with it being their interpretation of the French Quarter, but if I find myself on Bourbon Street, there better be topless zombies with beads around their neck. If that doesn't happen at least once, then they're dropping the ball.
We have a good chance. Gamer Chick is involved in this game, and I know she would have at least suggested it because that's how cool she is.
I thought you were going to say maybe she was modeling for it.
No, I'm saying that I guarantee you that had to have came out of her mouth. Like, man, we got to have topless being there. Like, Tiffany, no, like that. Kids might play this
she was
game.
like, if we don't have topless, Wes, Roots, and Mash are going to be like really pissed.
She knows.
But there's still time. We can affect change with this game. All we got to do is put it out there into the world, and I'm sure they're nearly finished polishing it at this point. But maybe we can get some small things added into it.
Yeah.
Eric,
you know who's going to be nearly finished polishing it?
My mom.
She'll start again.
So what do you think about this chainsaw, Eric? Are you as excited about it as I am? Because I think it looks amazing.
It's super cool. It's got real-time weight to it too. So it's like, you know how you had like the shotgun or the axe gave it weight, right? The way you wielded it, it felt like it was heavy and it could be cumbersome if you didn't swing it hard enough or swing it the right way. Same thing with this. It has weight to it, so you can't just quickly swing it around and cut through everything. It's not like that. You have to really you're gonna feel weight to the chainsaw. You're gonna feel that it has to get through everything when it's cutting through it. Crazy.
That sounds great on today's VR equipment, but Roots, imagine what handling this chainsaw is going to be like on PSVR 2 when you really can feel it cutting through the bone and you have the adaptive trigger to give some resistance. I mean, it's going to be a whole new level of immersion, right?
Yeah, it's going to be next level. I don't think people take that into consideration. I mean, there was a reason why I was buying flat games for the PS5 versus PC for the adaptive triggers, right? And that's flat. Imagine in VR, it's going to be next level.
Yeah, I can't wait for this. Again, we've said it before. I'll say it again. This is the best game in VR. And this sequel looks like it's going to be an improvement on what is overall the best game in VR. So I can't wait to get my hands on this, try out the new weapons, search the new maps. Again, I don't think I'll ever finish this game. I think it's just a city I'm going to live in perpetually and just put a little bit in each day.
Yeah.
Did you finish Aftershocks?
No, I haven't done Aftershocks yet. No.
I mean, I did it, but I didn't finish it. I probably got maybe halfway, 3/4.
Yeah, I've been meaning to do that one for the patrons. It's one I've been saving for them. Aftershocks was broken for me for months after it launched. Of course, I finished the game with my G2 on Steam, and when I went back in, like I had no controllers. Like it just didn't even track my hands at all in the game, and there was no profile for it. And Guerrilla had similar problems on another headset, and it took them a long time to get that ironed out. So by the time it got ironed out, I'd kind of moved on to whatever the next thing was. It was months later, literally months later. But now it's fixed and I can use it. And I've just been kind of holding on to it so I could do it for the patrons because it's something that was requested by more than one person. So we're definitely going to get back in there and do that for the people before this thing goes live later this year.
Yeah.
I'd watch that playthrough, man. It gets seriously cool towards the end of it. Like I said, I'm probably like 3/4, maybe a little bit more and you start to use different things and techniques to find clues, and you're gonna love it, man. You're gonna freak. And like I
Believe
said,
me,
I didn't even get to the final room. There's like a final room that you find that's got some secrets in it. So
we're gonna do we're gonna do top 50 on PSVR without parole
Ooh.
next Saturday,
Oh God.
and
that's
I'm
gonna
just
be a good show.
Yes, I was just about to
yeah,
say that.
and I just keep going back and forth in my mind here with what am I going to make number one, because we have my favorite game, Resident Evil 7 VR, which I know Brian Paul is going to make that number one because it's his favorite game too. But then we have The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners here, which is the best game on PSVR. So which way do I go? I don't know. I'm just keep debating it. I guess tune in on Saturday to find out, right?
Yeah, I'll
I
have to
have an
watch
I
that.
have an idea where you'll go with it, but
I don't. Well, good. I'm glad you do because I seriously, legitimately don't know what I'm going to do.
I think that you
I
lean
just
you lean more towards logic of overall versus personal preference, even though you love both of them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just said it. What's the best game of the year or the best game in VR? PlayStation VR. It's Saints and Sinners. Not
Our
that
friend,
down to these. Is it down to these two games? Is that what it is? Is that what you're saying for you?
Wander.
yeah. There's no question about that. If you're
Okay.
talking about the best game on PlayStation VR, you're either talking Resident Evil 7 or you're talking about The Walking Dead Saints and
Mm.
Sinners. One's my favorite. One is clearly the best. I don't know what I'm going to put in my number one spot.
Donatella, the scientist game cat, says, "Come on, Wes. RE7 is number one."
I'm gonna throw
Alright.
Farpoint into my top three there
Ooh,
too, because I would have the same two that I would be fighting with, but I would throw Farpoint in there for me just because I loved it so much. I would have to really consider that one in there.
see,
Yeah,
I
I
loved
agree
Rush
with
of
that.
Blood. Rush of Blood for me was like at least top three, and so I don't know. There's so many good
It's going
ones.
to be a good time. It's going to be
That's
a
gonna
good
be a
time.
great show. Everybody needs to go watch that freaking show. That's gonna be great.
Our friend Cyril from Garage Collective joining us in chat. Good to see you, Cyril. Happy anniversary. I
Yeah.
saw Cyril shared on Twitter the other day. It's his and his wife's wedding anniversary. They've been
Ooh,
married exactly as long as my wife and I have been married. Uh, the only difference is somehow Cyril and his wife they're not aging. In fact, I think they might look better now as a couple than they did on their wedding day. It's nuts. Good looking people.
that's crazy.
Uh, but congratulations, Cyril, to you and your wife, and I wish you many more years of happiness.
I saw a picture of Mash's wife when she was younger, and I thought the same thing. I'm like, dude, she like it looked like she's aging very, very, very slowly. It's crazy.
She's gonna love you for that.
It's true.
Anyway, Walking Dead Saints and Sinners coming later this year for all major platforms, but the definitive edition coming next year for PSVR 2. Do you think that they're finally going to succumb to the wishes of the people, Eric, and give us the co-op ability that we've been asking for since this game launched?
Nope. I don't think so. I think it's gonna be in whatever next iteration of this that's a true, next, a true Walking Dead 2. I think we
Right.
might see it in that, but I don't think we'll see it in this second chapter of the Saints and Sinners chapter.
Hopefully, the next version of The Walking Dead VR that comes from them is an actual adaptation of Rick's story. That's what I want.
That would be
I
cool.
want the comic book story in video game form, and then they could give it the ending that it should have gotten all along.
I wanna have it to where you can play with like 3 or 4 players, and each person gets to pick a person like Rick, Glenn, or whoever in this set. I think it'd be pretty cool too. That's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah, probably not. Well, I mean, you never know. Crazier things have happened, and Norman Reedus is totally into doing voice roles for video games.
I would
So
be
I mean, if
too. Fuck, man.
yeah,
You mean I can record in my house? I don't even have to go in and do shit. I just have to. How great would that make millions of dollars?
yeah. So I mean, give it a few years. Let VR grow for a little bit more, and then let The Walking Dead go away for a little bit more, and I could definitely see something like that happening a little bit down the line.
Scion's VR makes a good point, but he says when you have so many branching paths, co-op becomes very problematic. But maybe what if you split off and like different things happen and like you have to go rescue your friend? Who knows? Maybe you make a bad decision. You know?
They could fix that with, just by thinking it through and designing the game. Having a host that's kind of the pack leader. You're Rick. Everyone else is kind of following your lead on that. And I mean, here's an idea, and I don't want to go ahead and give away all my wonderful creativity to all these developers so that they can profit on it. But here's one for free, you guys. How about a co-op game that's not co-op? How about everyone has their own campaign that they play through, but we collaborate. We exist in the same world, and we work together on different aspects of things that need to get done. But we don't have to do it at the same time. Everyone can pick up their own game and play. So it's kind of co-op, but it's asymmetrical, right? Or what's the word for that? There's a word for it that I'm not placing. But they could do this in a game like this, where there's so much variance in each play session, but you as a community could have goals that you need to progress the story, right?
Well,
Somebody needs to go to Bywater and do something while I go to the French Quarter. But you don't have to be in there together. You can communicate through in-game systems, and everyone can share an experience without playing together.
Space Dennison nailed it. Says that's an MMO, and that would be amazing. The Walking Dead MMO, the world like World of Warcraft, but you have like everybody's doing their thing, and you could even tie in exactly what they've done, where they've got this, good and evil, and like the more good you do, you started to different opportunities arise or treated different, or vice versa. Like you could even run your own.
Dead. It'd be like Red Dead in the fucking Saints and Sinners world.
It'd be so cool. It'd be unique. Man. Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah, you put that kind of deep narrative with the branching paths into like a MMO framework. I mean, come on, man.
Come on.
It'd be the best game ever.
Man.
It would be. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's 3 stories up, 3 stories down from Gamescom. All high-paced action games with zombies and monsters. Surely there weren't any more high-paced action games with zombies and monsters. Fast Travel announces high-flying action co-op EVERSLAUGHT Invasion trailer. This from Scott Hayden at Road to VR. Fast Travel Games, the studio and publisher behind VR titles such as Cities VR, Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife, and Apex Construct, unveiled a new VR co-op action title called EVERSLAUGHT Invasion, which is slated to arrive on MetaQuest 2 in early 2023. Set in the same universe as PCVR action RPG EVERSLAUGHT, developer MobX Games and publisher Fast Travel say that the fast-paced VR first-person shooter is intended for 2 players, although it supports single player in what the studios call high-octane combat, thanks to the game's focus on high-flying locomotion that will let you dash, jump off cliffs, or fly to an enemy with the help of a hookshot tool. The MetaQuest 2 title puts you in the boots of a hero of the secretive cleric order who must defeat the evil and ever-expanding faction of the corrupted. The game includes 3 unique classes with their own tools and playstyles: Warrior, Rogue, or Vanguard. We're hoping to learn more about each class as we get closer to the early 2023 launch window. Like you'll see in the game's announcement trailer, EVERSLAUGHT Invasion puts heavy emphasis on the frenetic action thanks to the game's hookshot mechanic, which lets you traverse the map at high speeds or dispatch enemies with a single blow. You'll also gather loot and unlock new skills and weapons through what the studio calls a deep progression system. Eric, EVERSLAUGHT already on PC, one of the most promising games in early access right now, and we knew that they were working on bringing this to other platforms. What I didn't know is they would be seeking out help from experts like the people at Fast Travel Games and bringing us a beautiful version to Oculus Quest that's built on co-op. This has everything we love about EVERSLAUGHT, but now we can bring a friend.
Man, this was such a smart combination to go to get MobX together with Fast Travel Games. Just makes sense, man. And MobX is already a great studio. Jihad and the guys over there do such a good job. I love this game. This is like my kind of game. Number one, it's a freaking roguelike, which I absolutely love. It's got a freaking grapple hook. It's got a shotgun on your freaking one hand. The PC version was fantastic, and we just said we wanted a little bit more. We wanted it a little bit more fleshed out. Now, I knew that they were working on a game for the Quest 2, that they were going to try and move this game over since GDC. That's when he told me about it, but he was like, "You can't tell anybody yet. You just can't tell anybody yet." So I've been sitting on this for a long time. But Wes, Roots, I'm like, there's no way they're ever going to move. How are they going to get this game and put it on the Quest 2? And again, we've been saying this all night long. I don't know how they're doing these things now. It's crazy. Like they are just understanding the new the Quest 2 so much better. They're optimizing things and just being able to move them. This game is awesome looking. I can't believe that. I mean, it looks real. I mean, so good that a couple of times I pulled the headset off. I'm like, holy crap, guys, how did you do this? Now, this game is not 100% done yet. Like if you see this like little indentation in the floor here, eventually this is how you're going to load into the game, right? So you'll be up here in this little area and you're going to be like grabbing whatever weapons you want, getting your loadout. You step into that middle of the room area and the floor is going to open up and you're going to like Iron Man straight down to the planet and do like a power dive and you're going to like hammer your fist into the ground and that's how you're going to land into your
Yeah.
run
Damn.
with a partner, by the way, co-op. So, but that wasn't in the demo yet. You know what I mean? So they're like, okay, we don't have that in. When I played it, I just materialized on the world and was starting to play. So this is not done yet, but man, it looks so good. I mean, you guys are gonna freak out when you see this, and it's amazing. I don't know how they're doing it.
Roots, EVERSLAUGHT, which by the way is slated for more updates and work on PC as well. This is a VR gamer's VR game, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And well, it's like a lot of these games, or a few of them, I guess. It's a game you're gonna have to have your VR legs. Your very fast movement. It's what we want. Don't penalize us because some people don't have their VR legs. Give us the game we want. And I was already impressed with the game before everything that I've seen here and what Eric's talking about. Now I'm really excited. I want to Iron Man down to the planet and just smash down there and just do some shit. Sounds super cool.
Yeah, I bet they work in some gnarly ass combo moves. We're doing co-op now in EVERSLAUGHT. Imagine like you grabbing the guy with your hook shot and then like throwing him in my direction and me crushing his skull with something, or blasting his face off with the shotgun. There's so many different things you can do in EVERSLAUGHT. It kind of feels like you're playing a Doom game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely like a Doom game, but better because a Doom is. I love Doom for what it is, but this is built from the ground up in VR, and it's just amazing. The movement.
It's a bit more. It's more versatile in terms of what you can do. I mean, Doom's a shooter. This is a lot more than just a shooter.
Yeah, absolutely. And I never even thought about that, like throwing people off of each other. Throwing somebody to Mash or to Wes and having them smack them as you know what I mean, working together as a teamwork. It's gonna be super cool.
Yeah, I mean, you can grapple, and you can grapple to enemies. You can grapple to points around the map. They've got a thing now where one of the devs was telling me, he's like, if you get under a grapple point, like right underneath it, and you grapple up to it, Wes, it'll shoot you like 50 feet in the air, so you can reach different heights that maybe you couldn't reach before. So it was
Hmm.
kind of like, I don't know if it was something that we just never thought of, and it's like it's a little dev secret, like how you can do this, or if it's a new thing in the game. But he's like, yeah, he's like, just walk over here and like shoot your grappling hook up straight up in the air and grab that grapple point, and I shot up to a bridge that I never thought I could make it all the way up to. And it was there's things in this map now too that you can grab that you can get because you have different weapons now. You just don't have a shotgun. You can have a Gatling gun on your arm. You can have a shotgun. You can have like a repeater, like a rifle repeater kind of thing, where it's more of an accurate shot. And you have to fill that ammo during the game at these refill points, where you kind of go to a spot and you stick your arm into the refill point, and it reloads your game. That whole collecting of blood thing is gone, by the way. They've gotten rid of that. That was a main focus of the PC version. That is not here anymore. They're not doing the whole blood collection thing. I think they wanted to get away from that a little bit with the Quest 2 version. So that was the cool thing I liked about the other one, but it's not here. But you're just kind of collecting like an essence when the enemies die. You still need that to upgrade yourself during the game, but the whole idea of collecting blood to like use, power your shotgun is not there anymore.
Hmm.
Right, right. Um, one of my favorite things about the first game, something that I really wanted more of, was outdoor environments. It looks like this thing is going to be mainly done in outdoor environments.
Yeah, it's.
Um,
I mean, I only saw this one level, but yeah, I mean, it very much seems like that's going to be the case, and very open. Where before, I think the PC, a lot of the one part we saw was like in an enclosed and confined environment. This environment here had several levels to it that you could reach with your grapple hook, and there was enemies from everywhere. There was enemies wielding bows all over the place that you have to like get in close and grapple into to get in close, and you kind of have to work as a team with a lot of this stuff too. You had one guy like would grab the guy, an enemy, and he would almost fling him into you as you would hit him. Different ways you can hit them too, like if you hit them on the move, you do way more damage. um, if you have a blade like a bladed weapon, like a sword. If you hit them with the flat part of the sword, you're not going to do as much damage as if you hit them with the edge part of the sword. Because you'll see as you hit an enemy now, you'll see damage numbers come off of the enemy, and you can hit the enemy with like you can hit him on several different points. So if you start a swing from the top, you'll actually see damage hitting from the head to the shoulder to the leg. However, you swing all the way down through the body. So it's there's a lot to this game now, a lot more than the PC version.
yeah, and this is very early footage too. It's going to be so much more fleshed out and polished by the time it actually launches early next year. Um, yeah, good signs already from very talented development team. Um, Eric, so we saw it with Hellsweeper, right? We saw an awesome early version on PC get brought in through a high profile developer at Vertigo to bring a very advanced version over to Oculus Quest. Now here we are again with another great early access PC title. Uh, Studio teaming up with Fast Travel Games as a publisher to bring a high quality version to Oculus Quest. This is a trend, one of the most notable trends of 2022, in my opinion. Whether you're talking about Vertigo, whether you're talking about fast travel in dreams, I think linking up with these experienced publishers that have great development teams and connections with platform holders. I think this is kind of the move now for talented smaller studios, right?
Yeah, it makes sense too. I mean, if you're a smaller studio and you need a little bit of something, a little bit of help here or there, it makes sense to jump on with one of these bigger developers and have them help you. Have them get their expertise, get their knowledge, get their know-how to make your game as big as you want it to be. And could they have probably done this on their own? Maybe. Are they going to come out of it, with the same, marketing, and are they going to come out with the same focus by themselves? I don't think they would. And like I said, there's a lot of things that Fast Travel knows about making, video games that they will impart, I'm sure, to all these smaller developers, and it's a big trend now. Like you mentioned, In Dreams, Fast Travel, Vertigo, a lot of these big developers are branching off and they're helping small developers, which is, and these indie developers, which I think is so important. If we're going to have good games, can't be all triple A games companies doing these things. We have to, if we're going to have a lot of games and good games, it's got to be the smaller teams that are making them. And the more help we get from bigger developers, the better these indie games will be.
That's why we're
Yeah,
in the position we're in now, right? With like, because of the first wave of, or the generation, there wasn't all the experience, right? And so now you have these experienced studios that have done it, know what they're doing, and thank God that they're doing what they're doing, right? Because they're helping the whole industry. And it's just really good for the for all of us.
Michelle B asks, EVERSLAUGHT is on Viport. Is this the same game? That is the PC version. The footage that you're looking at here is actually Eric's demo of the uh, beta version of the Quest that's going to be out next year. So it's a very similar game. The PC version's a bit more fleshed out and polished than what we're looking at here.
Yeah, this is in-game footage that was recorded. I mean, this is, and I guarantee most of the people that were just watching, if they didn't realize, this isn't the PC. This is the Quest 2 version that you're seeing right
Yeah,
here.
It's crazy.
nuts. So yeah, I mean, with regards to these developers through the first generation, obviously, as is always the case in any free open market, the cream of the crop rises to the top, and that's why you see the studios like Vertigo, Fast Travel Games, In Dreams, Resolution. You see them start to have success, and the reason why they're having success is they understand, they get the game, and they're committed to building VR as a platform. So they want to give back as we go into Gen 2. And how do they do that? Well, they do that by expanding into publishers, you know, and working with some very talented people, listening to the community, knowing what's good, taking it, making it better, and then getting this to the people. It's a crucial role for VR's development, and I'm glad to see that we're in good hands as we move into the next generation.
Yeah, thank God for those. Seriously, like those developers, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I see technically it said is the PC version getting co-op, and um,
Not
I'm
officially,
back.
not officially.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But he did say, I did speak to Jihad, and he said that they are continuing to work on the PC game. They're not abandoning it in any way, and he believes there's a good chance that we are going to see this co-op on their on the PC version as well as other platforms. Wes.
yeah, they've said as recently as this week that we're going to be seeing substantial changes coming soon to the PC version and continued efforts
Hmm.
to bring the game and the franchise, as Eric said, to other platforms. So
Curious.
I've said it. I've said it all week long. This is a game everyone should be paying attention to. It's a great game already, and it's only going to continue to expand and get better over time.
Yeah, and
Anyway,
three modes. I just want to mention that real quick. In this Quest 2 version, you're going to have the roguelite mode. They said they're going to have a horde mode, so it's going to be less like areas where you're going to continue to battle for round and round and round with a co-op partner. And they're going to have a sandbox mode too, where you can go in and just play around and do have all kinds of abilities and learn different things and just do whatever you want.
yeah, it does seem like a bit of a different game than the original EverSlot. Now that don't mean that EverSlot itself won't change, to become more like this. But for what it's worth, it seems like this is a different game that really borrows everything that's good about EverSlot and just kind of repackages it.
Yep.
Anyway, this wasn't all, not even by a long shot, all that Fast Travel had to show off at this year's event. In fact, I would say there probably isn't anyone else in all of VR that had more going on this week than Fast Travel Games. They had a few different things to show off, didn't they, Eric?
I just had to spend 2 hours at the booth. for fast travel. So they were if you were a content creator or you were somebody, because they weren't in the normal area, they were in their business area, the what they call the B2B area. So normal everyday ticket holder could not get in here. You had to be somebody in the industry or content creator to go in, or news media to get in and do these things or have an appointment to do these things. And they were doing 2 hour blocks for people because they had 4 games that they were demoing, 30 minutes a game.
So tell us, let's talk a little bit about Broken Edge. We just talked about how Fast Travel did great to pick up Mob X Studios and bring Everslot over to Quest. They're also teaming up with Trebuchet, who's stepping out of their own wheelhouse a little bit here and giving us a co-op. I'm sorry, not a co-op, but uh, a uh, a melee game, a melee battle arena style um, battle game, which again, of all the recent announcements in VR, this one was probably the biggest surprise to me because it is a bit of a departure for Trebuchet, and it looks like an interesting take on this very popular genre.
Is he froze? I guess he must be
I don't
froze.
know. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me just ask you, Roots. What did you think about this very very pastel looking uh, arena melee game?
I'm not much into an arena melee myself, but I like the art style. It definitely looks really cool, very different. And I mean, obviously, if the for people that do love arena melee, it looks cool.
You got to actually put hands on them with this one, didn't you, Eric?
I did. Yeah, another great demo. And when this game came out for the upload showcase, I think all of us kind of said, "Geez, kind of looks kind of cool." But man, the art style is a little weird with colors, right? It looks almost pastel-y. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. And Trebuchet was like, I know I'm from like they made Winds and Leaves, right? If I'm thinking of that correctly.
That's right. Yeah, that's
So,
correct.
which was a very different style game on the PlayStation VR, and so I was a little dubious about this game going in, but man, I got in there. The lead developer kind of got in there with me and fought against me and taught me how to play the game. And man, this is a deep, deep game. If you're thinking this is going to be some quick, easy, get in there and just like swing your arms and flail around and you're going to fight against somebody game, that is not what you're doing here. This is so intricate. This is a real sword fighting game where you need technique and you're going to battle against an opponent. There's a points scoring system here. And it is really deep, and it looks way better in the headset than it looks like on flat screen. The colors don't throw you off as much when you're in the headset.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what this looks like in the headset because the more I look at it, the more it reminds me. The art style reminds me a lot of Lies Beneath, which looks great in the headset. I mean, the color palette's obviously the Trebuchet color palette, but the art actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games that does not show well flat, whether it be the coloring or whether it even be just the graphics themselves. But it looks way better in the headset than it does, on a flat screen. And this was one of the games that had me smiling the most when I came out of the demo. So we all know Gamertag works for Fast Travel now. Well, he
That's
was
right.
my booth liaison for this, so he was the one that was kind of ushering me in. He was capturing my footage for me. He was ushering me in from booth to booth. And when I came out of this one, I had just a big smile on my face. And GT, he's like, "Look at the damn smile on your face." I'm like, "I know, it's because that's what shocked me the most." This was one of the games that I was thought I would walk away going, "Eh." I wasn't really looking forward to seeing it. I was like, it was not my type of game just by the style. But when I came out of this game's gonna blow you guys away, man. I was shocked
Hmm.
at how deep and intricate this game is. You get a shield in this game also. You can use a shield and a sword. Well, if you just sit there and block with your shield, it's like real sword fighting. Your shield was gonna take damage. So when you get hit with a shield, your shield gets smaller. So now your shield isn't this big shield. It's like a little small shield, and you take another hit, and then it's gone. Then you don't have a shield anymore. Same thing with your blade. If you just go to block with your blade, and you just think you're just going to block the whole time, your blade takes damage every time you get hit or try to block. And the better that they swing and the better that the better spots they hit on your blade, the more damage they're going to do to your blade. Your blade gets shorter and shorter every time you do that, to the point where you only have a freaking blade sticking out this much. So, and there's a point system to this too. So I could see all kinds of tournament style things they could do with this game, and it's just really well done.
Well, that's interesting, man, because that's a bit of a different take on this style of game, having points and making it more like a fencing game than a sword fighting game. That's interesting. It's something that could grow. You know, it's a curious choice. It's brave because this is something that could blow up and be like the next big thing, esports. You know, something that everyone's doing and everyone's playing, or it could be something that's a little bit slower to get adopted, like we saw Blaston from Resolution Games, which is a kind of a dueling shooter. Uh, didn't really get a lot of traction at first, but over updates and over time, people have kind of come around to it. Um, a little bit of risk involved when you go so different with the genre, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different genre. It does give you some Blast On vibes to it, but I would say it's a little more intricate than Blast On. And you do have movement in this game, so no thumbstick movement. But you need to move to your opponent. So you're going to need a little bit of space here. This is not a game you're
Mm.
going to do with like in a tight quarters. You need a little bit of space because you need to like you're sword fighting or fencing. So think about if you've ever seen somebody fence, what do? You do that lunge move or you do different moves to move in and out and away from your opponent. You need
Mm.
to do that here. Um, you
I
know,
see some broken TVs right off the bat. You
There
better
it
make
goes.
sure you got space because
Guardian. Yeah, make sure your Guardian's set right.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I think
I'm
it's
sorry.
I think it's super cool that it seems like they've really, like you said, Wes, right off the bat, or maybe it was you, Eric. You're not going to be swinging your sword right around. It sounds like they really took a lot of detail or to how you're going to attack and how it's going to affect their sword or shield, and there's just a lot of things going on, right? A lot of techniques, and if you get good at it, you could be really good at it, right? So
Yeah, they've definitely won the first battle whenever it comes to a melee game like this, and that is they've come up with a new concept. This is a different game than the legions of other games in this genre.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
for
that's
sure.
not all. That's not all Fast Travel had to show, because honestly, I keep hearing great things about this We Are One. Um, would you call it? It is technically a puzzle game, right, Eric?
100% a puzzler. It's a puzzler that has some shooting elements to it, or like almost like a pistol whip element to it because you got to dodge. You can't move. You're rooted to a spot, so you have to like dodge left and right.
People keep telling me that this game is just really, really good. It's a lot better than even you think it's going to be. I mean, there's an early version of this on App Lab right now, isn't there?
There is, yeah. You can check it out on App Lab. It's a demo. It's not like a full game or anything. It's just a demo. But yeah, demo on App Lab, and I think there was a playable demo on Steam. I don't know if it's still there or not, but I remember playing it during the Steam Next Fest a long time ago. So that demo might still be there as well for Steam. But yeah, you can go play it right now on App Lab.
We've seen similar concepts to this. This is the old time manipulation slash clone mechanic that we've seen, stuff like transpose and the last clockwinder. How does this what you've experienced so far stack up to those other more well known titles?
Yeah, I mean, somebody mentioned transpose last night in my chat for in my show, and I was like, man, that's a good. I didn't think about that one, but transpose is like a good, really good, correlation to this game because that's what it kind of feels like. That there is a lot of time manipulation here. There's a lot of thinking because you can't just move through a level easily. Again, you have no movement here. You can't leave your space. You know what I mean? You're basically playing as a plant entity. So you're rooted to a spot. You grow out of the ground. You can't
Mm.
walk.
Sounds
Roots, what do you think about this scenario where the plants are coming to life and they're able to move across the ground uh, by reproducing? Are you afraid at all that some of the victims of your endless Colorado time are going to come back to take
good.
you down?
I probably they probably will. I think it's very unique. I like the fact that one of the things I didn't like about Transpose, because it was a puzzle game, but it was like, that's all it was, like you did your thing. This has got shooting in it. It's got all sorts of shit. You're throwing your gun to yourself. And I like the way they put it. Do you trust yourself, or can you rely on yourself, or whatever? Can you really? Because past route's probably going to fuck it up. Like, I got this. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it's cool.
I think We Are One sounds like a bunch of new age hippie bullcrap to me.
I'm out.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
You know what I like though? They don't hit you over the head with it though. You think of this game, you're like, oh my god, it's like environment against technology kind of thing that's gonna like be preachy, and it's not that really that I could tell anyway. And the developers are super cool. I mean, there's a message there for sure, but it's not like hammering you over the head with it. It's still a game. It's still a game for you to enjoy.
Ironically, looks a lot better than Winds and Leaves.
It does look a lot better than Winds and Leaves for sure. This art style is gorgeous, man. And they showed something different in here in this demo than they did in the other demos. Is they showed some outdoor environments where you're actually in the middle of a forest. Where the other ones were all like in a steampunk kind of like machinery, or you're like in a factory moving around different levels. They kind of showed, a little bit more area here, which I thought was cool. And I don't know where I cut out last time. This is killing me, by the way. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a puzzler. I think that's all I was just trying to get out there. This is definitely a puzzler that just does some shooting as well. So you really, really have to think yourself through these environments, especially the later, the latter you go into the game.
Cool.
Ryan Brandon wants to know, did we talk Nerf VR yet?
We did not.
We did not, but there's a reason for that, and I think the reason is because we don't want to. Is that something you're interested in hearing us talk about, Ryan? Typically, what we would do is we would have a game of the month show, and we would make it a point to play Nerf VR so that we have all the information when we choose what the game of the month is going to be. But this month, we've been playing some higher quality games. Nerf VR just doesn't look all that great to us. And we kind of felt like it would just be us wasting our time anyway, because everyone knows that Red Matter 2 was the game of the month this month.
It wasn't going to be better than Red Matter 2. So.
Yeah, there's no way.
And the developers of the game didn't give us a copy, so usually that's another thing. If somebody gives us a copy, we're going to check it out because they gave us a copy. We're going to, you know what I mean? But if it's not something that holds our appeal to begin with, or our attention, then why would we? Unless you really were interested in it. Like,
right. I mean, if enough people wanted to see it, just leave comments down below. Yeah. If you really want to know what we think about it, we can check it out. But we're more excited about playing the new Alvo update, to be quite honest.
Hell
yeah. We don't get together for multiplayer a lot. So when we do, we like to play the stuff we want to play. And I think that's what we're going to do this week. Instead of playing Nerf, we're going to play the Alvo update.
Is Nerf VR on a Viveport Infinity? Do we know? It would be a good one.
Oh, it's a Quest exclusive right now.
Oh, then no, it's not. Absolutely.
Well, here's the thing. I like games with guns. Guns in VR, it's hard to mess up. But unfortunately, Nerf VR doesn't have any guns in it. It has blasters.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
All blasters. Although Hello Real kind of made like a Nerf gun.
Oh, that thing was awesome. It shoots. Yeah. It's like a real Nerf gun.
I got two coming, I think.
That's crazy. Giveaway. That's awesome.
That's awesome, dude. Let me ask you, Eric. We didn't have a chance to get you on this past week for Strangers in the Night. We put Red Matter 2 over pretty hard. Like, that game is fucking amazing. Do you dispute that this is probably the front runner for Game of the Year this year?
I mean, to me, it's where I said to Todd the other day, this is not a question of Game of the Year. This is a question of, is this the best Quest 2 game of all time right now for me?
Yeah,
because it's Game of the Year is like, it's got it. I mean, there's nothing I can think of that could beat this game. There's a couple that are close, but I think this is by far. But that's why I said, is this the game ever? Is this the best game ever for Quest.
Certainly the best looking game on Quest 2, right? Like this looks good for a high level PC VR game. Like you can barely tell the difference between the PC version and the Quest version, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. It's crazy.
Michelle B says people have complained that no one's in the lobby for Nerf. What is the cost on that? Is it $29.95? I'm assuming. I can't remember, but that's.
I have no idea.
It's Nerf.
I didn't care enough to look.
It's got to be. It's got to be expensive because it's got Nerf attached to it. I guarantee it's not. They didn't price it to where everybody's going to be in there playing.
I would go check the price, but whenever I click on it, it tells me that I have to register a Meta account, or I can't even look at anything on the store.
Oh, what a debacle!
Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, so I mean that's quite an impressive lineup for fast travel games. You have the big banger EVERSLAUGHT. You have Broken Edge, which is a new take on arena-based melee. You've got We Are One, which is a very original and heartfelt time manipulation puzzle game. But that's not even the whole story with fast travel, is it, Eric?
No, they got secrets, Wes. Lots of
Secrets. Yeah, cool secrets too, though, right?
Yeah, they did this thing where they're like, because they told us the lineup, right? They said, we have We Are One, we have Broken Edge, we have they said, and then they said 2 unannounced titles.
Right.
Now we didn't know EVERSLAUGHT. There was people that were kind of thinking about it or talking about it, but we didn't know EVERSLAUGHT. That was kind of a surprise, but they said it was going to be like a roguelite. And then the last one, they're like, well, completely unannounced. We're not saying anything about. So when I get there and they're like, hey, I'm getting ready for the booth, and they're like, hey, put your name and address and make sure you sign this NDA. And I'm like, really? A written NDA right here at the booth for the demo? And they're like, yep. And I had to give all my information because guess what? I can't say a damn thing about it. They let me play the demo for a half an hour, and I don't even know the name. They wouldn't even tell me the name.
So
It's
what they did is they took your name and your address, they paired it up with your retina data that was collected from the Pico device, and it's all in a file right now on the chairman's desk. So congratulations.
Well,
no, obviously we can't say much about the thing you signed an NDA on, but I think it's pretty safe to say that this project specifically is not another publishing thing like these other 3, right?
That is a good question, S. I don't know the answer to that actually. I'm gonna claim that I don't know. I did speak to a developer, and I don't know if he had I don't know if he was from Fast Travel. That wasn't a question that I asked. That's a good question.
Well, that was my assumption. I could be completely off base with it. I think that the next thing we hear from Fast Travel is going to be what their studio is working on. And obviously can't share a whole lot about it. Obviously, I don't know much about it to share, but Eric can't talk much about it. But I think it's safe to say that it's pretty cool, right?
It was I could, yeah. I was like, can I say anything? And they're like, yeah, you can say if you liked it. And I'm like, hell yeah, it was amazing. I loved it. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Well, I could say that this is one of the biggest question marks, and one of the things I'm most curious about, and I don't think we're going to have to wait very long to learn more.
Yeah.
Anyway, why don't we take a break from all of this fast-paced zombie slaying mayhem to get an update on a game that we've been paying the utmost attention to over the last 1 to 2 years.
Remember, recruit, you're part of the Triple O now, under the wings of the mightiest fleet the galaxy has ever seen. But here, within the Twin Planet system, you're on your own.
Let's hope those terraformers don't wake up before I finish the job, so I can pick you all up. Assuming you find Agent Sienna, and she's still alive.
So Hubris was also in attendance for Gamescom 2022, and Eric, I've been wondering if these guys are really going to be able to get it done and get it out this year, like they keep claiming that they're going to. But judging from this new footage and this new trailer, it looks like they might actually be pretty close to having this one wrapped up.
Yeah, I mean, I put it to them a couple different times, guys. Really, this year? And they're like, "Yep, quarter 4, 2022, we'll be playing this game."
Wow.
That's amazing because Roots, I don't think that there's very many games that we're looking forward to more than this one.
Yeah, no, this thing looks amazing. I was just telling Dee today she needs to try the Hubris demo. Right now, she can try PCVR, and she said, I don't really want to push my PC until I get the new processor and everything. And I said, Dee, we're gonna undervolt your card. Don't worry. Everything ran great. This game is so amazing. It's actually so optimized compared to a lot of other games that I've tried. I would not think it would look this good, but that's amazing.
That's a good point you say that, because I was like, when we were doing the demo, I'm like, "What do you guys have under the hood? Like, what are you guys running?" And he did say they were running 3080s in the demo rigs, but he said you got to remember we were running this. We've been making this game for 3 years now. We were running 1080s when we started developing for this. So he said you can use 1080 will run this.
Wow. Yeah, I believe it too because I mean, I'm pretty sure the first time that I ran this demo, it might have been before I even upgraded my graphics card. Like it was a long time ago when we first played this, and I've always just been kind of in shock with just how good it looks and how well it runs. I mean, this game is a bit of a technical showcase. Um, there's no way we ever see this on Quest, though, right?
Um, it's coming.
Wow.
It's coming. What? What? No way. No way they get this thing running on Quest.
Well,
I say,
I told you earlier. This is all I'll say. I played it on the PC, the new demo, and I played another demo on another headset. I can't say which one.
I see. And then, I was kind of saying that tongue in cheek because, again, after seeing all these different games now, the ones that are getting ready to come out, ones that are coming out later this year, the I place no limits on Quest 2 anymore. Like that headset's capable if the dev knows what they're doing. And I think if one thing is obvious from the demo, from this footage, it's that Cyborg knows what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to get in there and actually play the game. I remember watching Zimtalk stream the demo. Like this is when it first came out, even before I got it. And like he was like marveling about it and saying that like he's not sure what tricks they're pulling to pull it off, which I'm not sure either. But like we've only seen a small smidge of it, and it was actually quite a bit. There's a lot to that demo. So much exploration, right? I mean, this is going to be your dream, Wes.
I can't wait. This looks like a proper. I mean, it looks pretty linear, but the the gameplay loop touches on so many different mechanics here. This seems like it's going to be a complete adventure game. It's just going to be fun from start to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Only time will tell, but I mean,
I
it
thi-
looks awesome.
Yeah, I think you're right. And so they had two demos, the PC version. They had two demos they were showing. They had the original for anybody who hadn't done it before, because again, this is mainly a lot of flat gamers here. A lot of them never heard of Hubris, and a lot of them never played anything like this before. So they put them in the original demo, which is, I mean, you guys, have been talking about it. It's jaw dropping, right? When you come up out of that water. Well, for anybody who has done it before, they had a new demo that I got to play, and that is a completely action-oriented shooting part of the demo where you got to use different weapons against different enemies, and getting through a level was hard as fuck, and I absolutely loved it. And man, this is going to be such a good shooter. Forget about the exploration. This is going to be a phenomenal shooter. They had a weapon. It's like a holstered weapon that you can manipulate by hitting the B button, and you can change it so it gets like a one-shot weapon, like a pistol, and then you can actually hold the B button down. The weapon morphs; it gets a little bit longer, and all of a sudden now you have like a machine gun type weapon that will burst fire. So you have to use them in different situations, and there's different enemy types, and it's hard as shit, and there's health packs that you have to pick up. And man, I mean, we didn't get to see a lot of that in the early demo, the first demo, and this one was all action.
That's not fair, Mash.
How dare
Dude, I
you?
wish you
How
could have
dare
saw it,
you?
too.
I want to play that right now. Damn it.
O'Doyle coming through with the $5 donation. I'm sure it's going to be a great show. We'll catch it in the car later. Thanks, Wes, Mash, and of course the legend himself, Roots. Oh, thank you, O'Doyle. You rule, sir.
Yes, absolutely.
I think we missed a donation earlier, Roots. There was a donation before we went on the air when we were doing the intro, and I meant to come back to it, and I don't think we did we?
I don't remember. Was it Traveling Man? Or no. It was in the very beginning, and it was it the Bluebell or somebody said they wanted to start the show outright, and so they donated $5. I think but I can't remember. I don't want to get the name wrong.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Bluebell.
Was it Bluebell?
Bluebell.
God, how is my memory's better than it should be?
Thank you.
Yes,
Bluebell,
thank
for
you
your
very much so.
donation as well. You guys rock.
Yep.
Anyway, Scion says, you mean Questicle. And I say to you, Scion, you need to play Red Matter 2, friend. Like today. Go play it.
He doesn't have a Quest 2 to try it, but you could play the PC version. It looks almost identical, if not identical.
Yeah, and plus it's a great game. It's a great story-driven adventure puzzle.
You're gonna love it.
It's really good, man. You're gonna like it.
As a matter of fact, when Wes was talking about it last time, he said, Scion, you need to go play this because you're gonna love this game.
I did say that. Yeah. And I meant it. Anyway, I mean, I don't know how we could get more hype for this, Eric, than we already were. Apparently it's coming along very well, and we don't have too much longer to wait. It's going to get here before you know it.
This could be game of the year. This is potentially this could be game of the year if this comes out, which they say it will. If this will come out, in the Q4, this has a really, really good shot to be game of the year.
What are we going to do? We already said that we're going to not count December as part of the game of the year because of recency bias. We just make December the first month of the year instead of the last. But what if we have a December that gives us Hellsweeper and Hubris and God knows what else, like Vertigo 2? I mean, we might just have to include it even though we don't really want to.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I don't think we'll have recency bias. Sorry, I don't mean I don't know if that was directed directly at you, Eric. I forgot. So, but
son of a bitch.
I know. How dare I?
You know what though? I still stand by now. I mean, I still stand by my After the Fall. So I mean, it hasn't changed for me. I still think it was the best game last year.
There were some good ones, man, and that was among them for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a nice little break. Let's get back to slaying some zombies.
Beyond the trees where nobody sees, my cabin there stands alone. Respite for some, but dangerous for one. My zombies begin to moan. As eating you, despite what you do, will make them strong and hidden for long. Today's the day my minions have their breakfast.
Drop Dead The Cabin is coming to MetaQuest 2 this year. Indie studio Soul Assembly has announced that Drop Dead The Cabin is coming to MetaQuest 2 later this year. The studio says it will take everything people loved about Drop Dead and the zombie shooting, but fleshes it out into a rousing, strategic, co-op shooter full of variety. Eric, this is another one you got to demo on the show floor, right?
Yeah, very cool team. I haven't really had a lot of contact with Soul Assembly just because Drop Dead has been out for a long time, and I just haven't had access to them or had a need to access to them. So it was nice to get a chance to see them and meet them. Really cool development team, and this is a dude, this is a Call of Duty slash Left 4 Dead clone. So if you
Really?
like any of those games,
Hmm.
you're gonna love this game. I mean, it's definitely dual. It's definitely drop dead dual strike game. Okay, so if you hated that game, I don't know if you're gonna like this game. But if you like that game and you like zombie shooting, you like wave shooters, this is so much like Left 4 Dead to me because it's only 2-player co-op, not 4-player. But it's a time thing. You're waiting for rescue, so you have to activate something, and then a timer starts counting down, and you have to stay alive for this period of time. You have generators that you have to keep gassing up during that time period. So you're constantly running around looking for gas canisters to bring over to the generator so you can keep the lights on. You have, and where it's kind of Call of Duty-ish, is you have to get through doors of the house. Every different room in the house has a door, and you have to earn enough money by killing zombies to basically open that door, so you can get in and find a different weapon. Because there's weapon spawn points all over the place, and you'll spawn different weapons every time, and different ammo. Ammo is a big issue here because you run out of there's so many. Zombies coming at you in so many different directions, you run out of ammo so fast. There is melee also here. Like I found a hatchet at one point, and I was like using a hatchet for melee. All kinds of different weapons. It's really, really well done, and it looks just like Drop Dead Dual Strike. I mean, it looks really sharp. So if you like that game, you're gonna love this.
Yeah, it looks impressive visually, but I think the biggest difference is that the gameplay loop was fleshed out into a much more. It's a deeper experience, even though it is still at its core an action survival shooter game, right?
Yeah, and it does kind of like go along with the lore of the first game too. So if you know the first game at all, you're playing as that character, but earlier in their life. So it's like a prequel almost kind of a thing. But yeah, the formula of how you play it is completely different now. Again, you're kind of staying in one area. It's not going to change. What spawns in the area will change, so it's almost kind of like a roguelite in that way for each time you're in there. Um, and um, and it's definitely got a Left 4 Dead feel to it, man. I love that game, and this is very much like that.
What's the intensity level like? I mean, are there a lot of close calls in this one? Something to get your pulse up?
I died twice. I didn't make it through the demo. I mean, and I
Wow.
kept running out of ammo, and I was playing with one of the developers, and he was like trying to teach me how to get through places. It's dark. When the generator runs out of gas, you can't see well inside the house, so you're constantly having to run back outside. They come at you from everywhere. There's different types of zombies, just like in Drop Dead Dual Strike, and they come from all different directions. They just pop up out of the ground when you're near them. It's so intense. Like I mean, this was one of the demos where I was freaking out the most, just because I was trying to stay alive. I wanted to see the whole end. I wanted to make it to rescue. You know what I mean? And see if I could do it. And just could never get there. It's super hard, but it's going to be so fun. I think.
Roots, you've got two enemies here. You've got the monsters, and you've got the clock. Is this good? Are you down for some crash land with zombies? Because that's what it sounds like.
That's exactly
That's
what I was thinking. I was thinking it was like, because at first you think wave shooter, and that was what you would think about Crashland, and then you realize, wow, there's nothing wave shooter about this. This sounds amazing, and I'll tell you what, those I was saying during the trailer, the zombies with the purple eyes, they look creepy as hell. And what you're describing, Eric, sounds amazing. Like just chaos from every direction, and you're gonna have to lean on your friend. I better hope they're good crack shot. I'm good. I'm in good hands because both of you guys are good at shooting. So either one I run with. I do wish it was more than two people, but I mean, at some point, it's co-op. Two people's, what you get, and it sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's enough, right? I mean, it seems like we're getting ready to come into a new era where we're not going to have to wish for co-op games anymore. Like, there's going to be enough now for us to have plenty to hang out with our friends and play. So, uh, this definitely, I mean, this is a game that was not even on my radar a month ago, but now I'm really looking forward to it. And I don't think we're going to have to wait super long for this one. It should be out relatively soon.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be soon. And I asked that question too. I'm like, only 2-player co-op, and he said, right now.
Oh, well, there you go.
Um, so there's a good chance. And he said that they have plans for expanding this. So I don't think this is going to be like a one-off. Hey, here's this game and be done with it. You could see different environments. Left 4 Dead had how many different scenarios? I think you could do like a couple of them, right? A couple of different areas that you could go to and try and survive through. So I think they could definitely add to this. And man, if they ever get that point where they can add 2 more and you get a 4-player co-op, then it's Left 4 Dead in VR, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what people keep calling for. We were even talking about that just the other day. So, yeah,
Well,
definitely looking forward to this one.
they're talking about Left 4 Dead 2 VR mod in the chat, which I have not tried, but people say it's amazing. I think it was Space Dennison said that it's got some jank to it, but it immediately from the moment you step in there, better than After the Fall. Those big words, Mash.
Wow.
How do you feel about that?
We tried it. It was jank as shit, man. We tried it, remember?
Did you try it with your video card?
No.
I never tried Left 4 Dead mod. I never did.
I swear we did it. Didn't we do it with Tech Glitch?
No, I don't.
VR?
I didn't do it. I would love to.
Like, are you in chat? Didn't we do it? I know we did it. I remember we did it. It was shit. It was garbage.
Well, in its defense, it's a very early beta. They just started modding that one, like just started on it. So, like, even if it does suck right now, that don't mean it won't. That it's going to suck when they actually release it.
You want to know something weird, which completely off topic, but not really. Red Dead 2 that I was been playing last night and today. I've been playing it with 3D on, and it was on by itself, and it seems like it's really good now. Like a lot better. Like before, I was like I couldn't do it, and I turned it off. Now, even in Elden Ring, it's for sure because that's a new one, but it looks really good.
Yeah, I did Red Dead 2 with the 3D on. I'm doing Cyberpunk with the 3D on. I haven't been back to Elden Ring yet, but these other Blue Cross mods, it's working great in.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Anyway, Drop Dead the Cabin, a game that hasn't been on our radar for very long. This next one, though, we've been waiting for some time.
¿Qué está pasando aquí? Han, ¿dónde estás? Julia, espera. Esta es mi casa, pero tal vez no lo es.
So apparently Noctis was on the ground at Gamescom as well, once again demoing the latest iteration of Do Not Open, the long-awaited PSVR horror game, which subsequently now not a PSVR exclusive at all. It's actually coming to Steam VR as well. But Eric, they advertise this as a horror game that changes every time that you play it, and when you start hearing stuff like that, I mean, it sounds great, right? If they are actually able to pull it off. How much variance do you think that we're going to get from one playthrough to the next on this?
I mean, for what they were talking about, it's going to be vastly different, like each time. Like, I mean, like, and I said, like, what do you like? What do you mean different? Like, what changes? And like, yeah, environment, storyline. And he said that it's going to be like a lot of it. Like, it's gonna be a lot. I mean, it's not exactly storyline, but he said that it's gonna be a different experience
Hmm.
every time. So like, I'm like infinite replayability, and he's like not infinite, but I think they're gonna try and push this to the max. And I mean, this game is creepy as shit, Wes. This is your game, man. This is your game. And by the way, I did not play it on a PlayStation at all. There was no place. They didn't even have a PlayStation in the booth. PlayStation VR. I played it on a Rift S.
God, how terrible would it be if this PlayStation VR exclusive actually ends up launching first on Steam? That would be nuts.
It would kill Brian Paul.
Yeah, we've been waiting on this one for a long time, man, and it does look cool. Definitely interesting. But this was a kind of a surprise for you, right? You didn't know they were going to be there.
No, so a lot of these a lot of the countries will have a booth. That's a country, and what they'll do is the country will subsidize the booth for smaller developers, so it's
Hmm,
easier for them to get into the show because these
that's
booths are
cool.
freaking expensive. So you can go to Belgium, and then you'll see Cybris and or Cyborn with Hubris, and all the other games that are made in Belgium. They had a Polish booth, which we all know there are some fantastic Polish developers. So they had a whole Polish pavilion. They have a whole, and this was in the Spain pavilion, and I just happened upon it because I was going to see the finger gun guys,
Hmm.
and I'm like, because they were demoing finger gun there too, and I kind of worked with them a little bit, so I wanted to go say hi, and right next to their booth is this, and I'm like, holy shit, that's do not open, and I'm like, and the kid was sitting there with a Rift S on his head, and I'm like, I need to demo this game, and what I was shocked, nobody was looking to demo it, man. I'm like, why is nobody trying to play this game? I just don't think people knew enough about it. Um, but it was super creepy. This when you put the headset on, a lot of the cutscenes are very much like watching it like a cutscene or watching a screen inside the headset. But when you get into the gameplay, it's completely VR, which is awesome.
Now, what's the graphical fidelity look like in that?
I didn't play a lot of it because they had some jank, and it wasn't the game jank issues. They were having technical issues with the controller because I was playing on a PlayStation controller. So they're having technical issues there, and then they had some frame rate issues where all of a sudden the frames just dropped on me, and I couldn't really. I was gonna push through it. I'm like, guys, just let me push through it because I didn't have any more time. I had to move on. I'll just push through it. And they're like, no, 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 we don't want to show it to you when it's like bad. I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, I can push through frames. They probably thought I was a new person in VR, but
Yeah, you start
um,
puking, then you go and you're
they're like,
like,
whoa,
dude,
you don't want to be.
this game made me sick. Yeah.
So I didn't, but from what I saw the cutscenes, which I thought looked really good, and then I saw maybe like 2 or 3 minutes, 4 minutes of gameplay, and it looked super sharp. I mean, I was impressed. The colors were great. Everything looked rich and vibrant. It was super clear. Definitely want to see more. I was really kind of shocked with this one, like I said, because I wasn't really expecting it to be there at all.
Do we know if it's close? Is it coming closer than to coming out?
It's
Because
supposed to it's supposed to be out late this year, but
it,
it's been pushed back like 3 times already. So
see, I could see
I
it.
asked.
Oh, I was gonna say I could see a case where it comes out on PC first because at this point, why I say you skip PSVR 1 completely and just go for PSVR 2. Like you're so close. Like what are you doing?
well,
No one's buying
well,
it on
you,
the PSVR 1, probably.
well, you got to imagine that they've already got most of the work done
Mm,
though. Like it's been in development for years.
yeah.
Yeah, I asked them, release date time and price. They wouldn't give me the price, of course, which I don't blame them. But they did say, Q4 2022 or Q1 2023.
They're already putting it out there.
Yeah,
It's 100% going to happen.
I don't know. I
Uh,
don't care. Make the game really good and take your time and then put it out and it'll be amazing, right?
don't release it till it's ready, even
Yeah.
if it takes till 2025. You don't
that's
want to
it.
put out a half-ass game.
Yep.
I told them too.
Roots, talk about a game that puts you in your worst nightmare in VR. This is a puzzle game that you're going to put down, and then when you come back to it, the puzzles are all going to be different, and you're going to have to start all over again.
And it's creepy as hell. And you're in VR. Everything about it is amazing. It's not something that I would have thought was on my radar, but it is now for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, we've been going for some time now, so we're going to pick up the pace just a little bit. And but before we go, we're going to talk about a few of the other games that you had a chance to check out before the end of the week. Oh, wait, okay. I was looking for the trailer. What the bat, Eric? Where'd the trailer go?
Please don't play the trailer.
I can if you want. I got it. It's right there.
I
Do we,
just
do we
love
want
that
to hear the
song,
song?
man.
Everybody wants to hear the song. Everybody wants to hear the song. Play the
No,
trailer.
I'm just joking, man. I'm just giving you a hard time. Eric, people have been sitting on the edge of their seat since you mentioned it on your show yesterday, that you did get to demo What the Bat. So tell me, Eric, what the bat?
What the bat? This is this is not my game, guys. This is not my kind of game. This
Surprise!
is never going to be my kind of game. It doesn't matter if I played this, 100 times, one time. This is a completely ridiculous game that I don't know why they're making this game, other than the fact that it's going to sell like crazy. That's why, because people are going to buy it. Anybody who's like, you know, wants to just do stupid shit in VR is going to be like all over this. I mean, it's a completely nonsensical. The one part of the demo I did was I was on a space station, okay, and I can look out my window and I see these two satellites with big giant lips on them. Okay, two satellites with big giant lips, and I have two bats, and I have to take the bats and control these little levers to move them together so they kiss. Now,
Oh.
you have to use the bats. You can't use your hands. You have to use the bats to move these, these levers, and
It's
you have to hit
intuitive.
baseballs and softballs, and you have to hit
Well,
footballs.
this is the thing. Okay, if this was coming out of left field and they hadn't made a flat game that was, like you said, super successful, like you go look on Steam at What the Golf, like people love it. People love it. And so it's just another reminder that not every game's made for us, because I don't know that I would want to What the Bat it either. But you almost had me. I mean, I'm getting to bring two space satellites together in love. I mean, who doesn't want to do that, So
Yeah. I mean, look. I mean, this game could be funny. It's all about getting in there and just having a good time. I mean, it's cute. It's funny. It's something that kids are gonna want to play. Man, I'm sure this is gonna be fun, man. You got bats for hands. It's just not something I like. I was hoping I was gonna go in there and go, wow, this is really really cool. And I came out of there and they're like, what do you think? And I'm like, what the bat, man? I
What the
don't know what to
bat?
say to you guys. Most of the demos I come out of and I'm like, holy crap, that was just an amazing experience. Thank you so much. And then this one I'm like,
thank you for wasting my time. You could have asked him some questions like, like how successful is this for flat? Like I mean, I think you nailed it. It's more game geared towards kids. It's ridiculous. And if you like that, you're gonna love it, right? So
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this game kind of epitomizes everything that we've kind of been speaking out against over the last few months on the channel. Wanting games with depth, games with that really grip us, stuff that we don't want to put down.
it's What the Bat.
And then there's games like What the Bat, which are just endless time waste. It's a time waster, right? That's what it's here for. Just
yeah, I mean, and I'm going to come to the conclusion that here's the deal. I'm going to give in. I'm going to get in. There's a place for these games. I'll just give in. There is a place for these games. People want to play them. This is probably going to do extremely well, and people are going to love it. And it'll be Steam Game of the Year.
It may not be Steam Game of the Year, but it's definitely going to do well, and people are going to enjoy it. And
what was Steam Game of the Year last year? It was Steam VR game. It was ridiculous.
Cooking simulator.
This is the thing. When you're looking around and you're yelling that somebody's on your lawn, some kids have came across, because we're becoming the old crotchety guys that, you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck is this? And the kids are like, I love this. I don't get it, but I mean, What the Bat,
Waleed is now a game cat, specifically a white tiger, with the $2 Canadian donation. Thank you guys for a great show. Well, thank you for being such a great audience member. We appreciate the donation, and we appreciate you being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tiger, specifically.
And are you? And let us know if you're going to play What the Bat. Is this on your radar, or is this something that's not? I'm assuming probably not, but if it is, then I'm shocked. Oh,
Eric, you know what this looks like to me? This looks like the Melee version of the American Dream. Is what this looks like.
Oh,
exactly. Oh my God, that's what Wes. That's what this is, dude. This is. I think this is better than the American Dream. That was a steaming pile of shit. That game was terrible.
Does this
I
game?
wouldn't even put that.
Does this game shit all over America too, or is it just American Dream?
Not that I remember, unless you would think two space stations kissing each other.
Well, that is. I think so.
So during your show yesterday, Eric, you were talking about this game, Big Shots, which I subsequently went and did a little research on, and I didn't find anything. Like I didn't find anything, bro. So tell me, why are you talking about this?
Holy shit! I couldn't believe Roots found this because I looked too, Wes, because I never heard of this game. The only reason I knew this game was here is because it's made in Belgium and it was in the Belgium country's booth right next to fucking Cyborn with Hubris. Because otherwise I would have never seen this game. And it's freaking cool, man. This was one of the biggest shocks of the show, and I can't believe you found a trailer for it, Roots, because I looked everywhere.
Yeah, it,
me
I,
too.
it took a while to find it. I was surprised I found it too.
Yeah, I found a bunch of other bullshit like on Itch.io, but none of it was VR. And I'm just like, man, maybe Eric got the name of the game wrong. So tell us about it, man. What is this?
It's a this is a cool game. This is a co-op, either PvE or PvP mech shooter where it's a wave shooter basically, but you're in a mech and it looks really, really good, man, in the headset. The cockpit of the mech is really good. That moves really well. The only downside I don't like to it is they have this movement scheme because it's just like any mech game you've been playing recently. You grab like in game you grab these two like handles for and that's how you control your mech and that's how you move forward and everything. Just like you played, Vox Machina or any of those. They have this thing where you move, you turn not with your sticks, but with like pulling the screen almost like a Demio type thing. That's how you turn and look left or
Oh,
right. And I came out of the head some guys. I love this game. I go, but that turn left and right has got to go. And he's like, no worries. He's like, don't worry. We're not gonna take it out because that's their like that they think that's their way of not getting people sick in here. But they said they're gonna put a smooth turn in there.
Hmm.
So I said that's fine. Make sure there's an option. I mean, whatever you want to
On
do, but
launch.
make sure there's an option.
On launch, please.
On launch. Yeah. On launch. She said. Yep.
that's kind of crazy, man. How many? It's like smooth turn always gets added. Like, when is it going to be the thing that the game is built upon instead of just added in later? It's always something that they have to be told to put in.
Baby
So
steps.
weird.
EVERSLAUGHT. These games that are fast paced are showing because a couple years ago, the developers were so scared to do any fast paced, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it is faster than Vox too. By the way, Sim is asking if it's much more of a shooter than Vox. Like Vox was like, I know Vox was a shooter, but everything seemed like it was very methodical and slow. And your jet, you could jump in here like a jet. You had like a lever you'd pull that's like down, next to your leg, and that would shoot you up in the air, and you could propel yourself forward. So you still had that mechanic, but it just seemed like more of a shooter. This is a wave shooter, so it's definitely more than that, than a little bit faster than Vox.
yeah, shooting stuff in VR, it's pretty fun. I don't know if you heard, but
In a
it seems
giant
to
mech,
be.
how can you go wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Any
Against
idea?
space monsters. I mean, okay, this is like you're defending bases here, kind of like reminds me of like a Starship Troopers type of thing.
Oh.
Any idea when this game is coming or what platforms it's going to launch on?
Quest 2 for sure. I haven't heard any others than that. Quest 2, and I think I didn't see a date unless Roots saw something. Let me look at the. This is all I got because I had the demo and I got like a piece of paper. But I do not see a date on here that it's going to launch.
All right, well, we'll just keep an eye out for it. And again, if this is something you guys want to know more about, you know what to do. Click the red button, ring the bell. We will let you know when this one is coming.
Looks really cool.
Eric, a game, a fairly high-profile game that was on the show floor that I did not know was coming, Espire 2, which also subsequently they're going to be at PAX West. But they had playable demo going on, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, and I freaking did not know they were going to be there. I have an appointment for PAX West with Tripwire to go see the game there, but I had no clue that they were that they're going to be at Gamescom. And again, same thing happened upon the booth, and I'm like, holy crap! And I'm like, guys, can I get in? And he's like, I actually no, but I actually had somebody who didn't show up for their appointment, so he's like, get in here right now, and I'll get you in. And I did. I got a chance to get in and play it, and dude, this is
Yeah.
this is on my short list now, man, of games most anticipated games.
Yeah, I didn't have the biggest expectations for it. You know, Aspire 1 is good, and I don't think that it gets as much credit as it deserves. Um, People kind of shit on that one a little bit more than it deserved, I feel like. It's not a great game, but it's a good game. So I was expecting more of the same out of the sequel, right? Just another limited yet fun game. But GT did a video on this one this morning, and yeah, his impressions were the same as yours, man. Pretty excited for this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is to me Metal Gear. This is Metal Gear. This is the closest we're gonna see so far to Metal Gear in VR. They got the mechanic now where you can actually walk up to behind your the a guard and you can knock him out, or you can like tranquilize him and you can grab him and put him in a locker. Just like you would, and you see the Z's over top of their head, just like you would see in like Metal Gear, and you put them in a locker. Or you could hide in lockers. You're using a ventilation system. It's just like it's a lot of the Espire One. It does have a lot of that in it, but more, and it looks freaking beautiful, man. I was again shocked at how good this game looks, and I did not give enough credit to Espire 1.
You know, Roots, one of the uh, probably the biggest criticism I had of Espire 1 was the length of the campaign, because it seems like they have two game modes, right? They have the campaign mode, and then they kind of have like this challenge mode. And it seems almost more like they put more into the challenge mode than they did in the campaign. Um, do you think that that's needs to be a bigger focus for them as they move into this this next version?
I think so. Let's be honest. Everybody loves story and campaigns, and challenge modes are usually extras, right? So I shouldn't be playing more challenge modes than I am of the actual story. And then the other thing, and hopefully, I don't know, maybe Eric, you'll be able to answer this as far as this. The other thing that we criticized the first one was there was no real penalty for just going balls to the wall. Didn't make you have to use the stealth as much. Well, that was Espire 1, right? Wes, or am I remembering incorrectly? Mixing my game.
You're right.
Okay.
They did update the original to make it so it's not so easy to do that. But you're right, it was Espire 1.
Okay. So if they updated the first one, I'm assuming they did.
Yeah, you are going to need to stealth here. You have weapons enough to shoot. Like it's just like Phantom Covert Ops. I mean, you can play Phantom Covert Ops a couple different ways too, right? I mean, you can go in there and shoot everybody that's in there if you want, but it's going to penalize you if you do it.
It's tough, man. Like you get in the wrong spot, start shooting your gun off, they kill you pretty quick in PCO.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and this is going to be the same way. I mean, you got some decent weapons that you can go in and go crazy with, but this is Metal Gear Solid. This is meant to be a sneak in, knock enemies out, try and make it through the level. But the co-op is going to be super cool, man. You have two different types of robots basically that you're controlling, and each one is going to have to help the other person, man. This is that co-op that we always look for. This was Remember when everybody said, Stormland co-op sucks because it's just you playing with another person. There's no you helping that person. Like, I got to go grab a handle over here and open a door for you over here. That wasn't that interactivity of a co-op, and that is what we're going to get here. You're going to get the person playing as this other one robot can only fit in this spot to help you get through this area or do that. So it's going to be it's going to be a really cool co-op game.
Yeah. Those are the best. That's It Takes Two is the best co-op game I've ever played, and then the other one was the jail one by the same. You know what I mean? We need more of that in VR where you're forced to work together. You can't do it on your own, right?
Yeah, a way out. Yeah.
Yeah, no way out, or a way out. Yeah, that was so good.
Yeah.
I think one of the highlights of this game and this franchise is there are some pretty unique mechanics, stuff that these games do that you don't see in a lot of other games, and it looks like they're expanding upon that with this sequel, as they should. And I always thought it was cool how they used voice commands, for example, and it seems like that's going to be an even bigger part of the sequel, right?
Yep. You can go up behind them, and you kind of like cup your hand to your face a little bit, and then you can kind of like say different lines. You can tell them, drop your gun, or tell me where tell me where somebody was, or something like that.
Bring me your wife.
Yeah, right.
I'd love to scream one of Wolvie's sweet tits, or what does he always say? Shit tits, or I don't know. He's got some sayings that are like, holy crap, it's cool.
Yes, he does.
Anyway, definitely one to keep your eye on there. Aspire 2, I imagine it won't be long before we get that. Tripwire is normally pretty good about getting shit done and getting it out. So I would imagine in the next few months, this will be another one that we'll have in our hands. And again, ring the bell if you want to learn more as time goes on. One more game I want to talk about before we get into the week's reminders. And how could we leave out the game, Eric, that has your name in it? Mash
Ooh,
Me
yeah.
Up is a new game from Hollownautic. These are the people who brought us Hollowception. They brought us what's it called? The Tetris game, Cybrix. They brought us
Oh, yeah.
Cybrix. They
Yeah, yeah.
did the Hand Physics Lab. So some very talented developers here, and bringing us basically what we were just talking down on a minute ago, a casual game. Although this is a casual multiplayer game, which gives a lot of different activities for you to spend with your friends. So, Eric, unlike forcing you to play cornhole or play darts or whatever, they're giving you a palette of different activities and games to choose from. How much of Mash Me Up did you get to check out?
Check out a couple of different of these little mini games that you can do, or these little fun things you can do. And yeah, I mean, I'll just give you an idea. They have like beer pong. They have, it's what they call sketchy, which is Pictionary basically. They have a fling ball, which is basically there's a ball in the middle of a table, and you have to like shoot little ping pongs at it to like push the ball across the line in the middle of the table, and you have an opponent across you trying to do the same thing. They have an air hockey kind of like game. They have a game that's like Connect Four, but you're shooting hoops in a basketball, which that was really cool. And then they have like a game where you're trying to guess who the other person is. You're like putting a sticker on your head, and you have to, you're trying to like tell that person like all the facts about,
So charades, playing
exactly.
charades.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
man.
they have a lot of cool stuff.
Looks like it has a little something for everyone. If you like casual party games, here's the kicker. Here's the really cool part about this game. Right now is you can play it right now for free on App Lab, and you can see
Ooh.
the page right there. Roots just brought it up. They're in an open beta right now, and they've been on an open beta for a little while on SideQuest. It has now come to App Lab, but you guys know the drill. As is the case with anything on App Lab, you have to type the entire name of the game up there in the search bar. Click search, scroll all the way to the bottom, click OK, and then click OK again on the pop up, and then you'll get into this page and you'll be able to play Mash Me Up with your friends for free.
How come
right
it says
now.
get for me? Like I don't have to pay for it. Is that going to
It's
lead?
free, bro.
Is it gonna?
It's free, bro.
So I'm not having to do any of that. I'm just hitting. I just purchased it.
It's
Yeah.
because you have the show notes like our patrons have, and you don't
Yeah.
have to do all that bullshit.
Oh,
All you
hey.
got to do is click my
Hell
link.
yeah. Yeah.
Because if you go in and you type Masher Me Up, it's not going to work, man.
That's true.
It's
Well, it should be Masher you up.
I agree.
See, D says what I said when I saw this. Air hockey sold. So like there's a free air hockey game on Oculus Store right now. That's all you got to tell me, man. We're in. And the beer pong looks cool too.
Yeah, I didn't get to try the air hockey one. I hope it's good. I did the beer pong, and I did they have like a geo challenge. I did that one. That was just like you like a trivia game with geography and like a world map.
Your wording is so accurate because that's how I feel as well. I'm like, I have not played air hockey so far that's been good. And so that's my first thing. I love air hockey in real life. So if they can make it like real life air hockey, I'm sold. Like I need to feel like my controller is kind of being pushed up a little bit, and there has to be that, you know what I mean? The disc floats, right? It needs to feel like it floats along that air. That's how it works. Air hockey.
Well, I haven't played this, but what I can say is if I had to single out a strength of this studio, it's in-game physics. It's what they specialize in. It's what they do. So if anybody's going to get this right, it's Hollownautic.
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's free. Check it out. Might as well, right?
Yeah. Get it now while the beta's open. Obviously, this isn't going to be a free game forever.
Hmm.
Eventually, they're going to work it out, have a final version, and there's going to be a price tag pop up on that thing. So get in there and get it now while it's still free, and check it out.
I'm gonna make it easy for you in the chat right now. I'm gonna link that same link
Boom.
that Wes just
Everybody get it. We could all
Yep.
be playing Match Me Up.
just click it right now, and you can go straight in and just click get. And I'm assuming you'll have to link in, right?
All right, so we got to hit our friends at Holonautic up now. If Masher has a game named after him,
Yeah.
who's going to make Weasel Me Up? Or
Yes.
Roots Me Up.
Yeah. What the hell, dude?
Although
you know,
Roots Me Up sounds a little bit nasty.
It sounds like it
does.
could get nasty. You know who loves being nasty?
My mom!
you know who else likes to get the weasel up?
My mom!
She's good at
what
it.
the
too.
bat, Eric.
What the bat? Yeah, that's
What the
right.
Oh man.
Have a game out this week, and it seems like there should have been more than one, but most of them are coming next week. Like shit, what was it? We talked about something coming at the 15th. The After the Fall is coming, not this week, but maybe it's 2 weeks from now.
Hmm. I think I've gotten a
Into
signal.
the Radius.
I think it just went. Oh, it's coming back now. There we go. Okay, we're back.
Okay.
We're back, guys. Hey, what's up? We did it.
Anyway, we were talking about what's coming later this month. We got an After the Fall update coming later this month. We've got Into the Radius coming later this month. There's a bunch of awesome stuff coming out in September. But we do have one thing coming out this week, and it's something we've actually been waiting on for quite some time.
Let's roll out!
Come back here. I'm not done with you.
We move fast around here. It's time to end this.
Transformers Beyond Reality releasing on PSVR September 1st. All right. So, first of all, Roots, we know that they were developing this game for multiple platforms. It got delayed. Now, out of nowhere, they're back.
Hmm.
But this demo, or this promo, only lists PSVR for next week's release. Now, I'm sure it's still coming on multiple platforms, but this at least looks like it's going to be a timed exclusive for PSVR, which, let's be honest, kind of makes sense at this point.
Yeah, they need it too. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm sure PlayStation paid for it, and so they're gonna get their exclusivity, right? And yeah, I like we were saying in between the during the trailer, it's weird that they didn't have this. It was so close to launch that they didn't have it at Gamescom, right?
Yeah.
So
Eric, pretty obviously a rail shooter. But with that said, Rush of Blood's awesome. Archangel's great. This
Yeah.
might be good, right?
I like rail shooters. I mean, people give rail shooters a bad name. I mean, why people don't like rail shooters is because there's a lot of shitty rail shooters out there that just aren't good games. But if you make a good rail shooter, you're gonna love it. I mean, Rush of Blood's probably one of the best games I've ever played. I mean, so there are good rail shooters out there. Archangel's a great mech rail shooter. So they're out there that are good. My biggest concern with this game is you can't be a freaking transformer. I'm playing a
There's
Transformer
that.
game. I want to be a Transformer, number one. Number two, I'm worried if they didn't show this game, are they worried about and they're not launching it everywhere, only PlayStation? I mean, I don't know. I hope it's good. I mean, I hope it's good.
this is the
But
problem. All of these ones that we see, that the ones of the worst, they're all tied to big IPs. And that's the biggest worry. How many times have we waited thinking, man, this is going to be the one, they're going to do Transformers or whatever it was. And then it gets out and you're like, ugh, like this is not the one. Like they shit all over the Transformer name. I think it could be really good, but it could be bad. I mean, it's not a good sign that nobody's playing it or talking about it and it's about to come out, but I don't know.
But
Could be.
we did say similar things about Zombieland Headshot Fever, which is
Very
also
true.
a rail shooter.
Yeah.
And when we got our hands on that one, it actually turned out to be really good.
That's
so.
one of the perfect examples of the other way, right? It was like way better, so much depth to it, and it was like at first thought you thought, oh man, this is like a train wreck, and then you're like, no, this is like a fucking genius game, and it's amazing. It was fun. So.
Well, I'm not hard to please, man. All they got to do is give me a super polished experience with return in terms of production. It needs to look like Transformers. It needs to sound like Transformers. I need to feel like I'm in the middle of the action. If they can do that, and the shooting mechanics are fun, that's it. That's all I really require, man. They don't have to really reinvent the wheel here. They just need to give me something. I mean, if you're going to do a rail shooter, make me feel like I'm in a VR arcade, right? Make it feel like it's special, something that's had a lot of money spent on it.
Could be made to make you feel like you're in the movie, right? Like you're actually in there, and you're, and like Awesome Tatum's got a perfect point. I can't wait to see the sense of scale. So the coolest things about the Transformers is watching them transform into robot, into car, and vehicles, and fly away. And there is potential to make this fucking amazing from watching a movie type, being in a movie type of a experience, right? Maybe that's what they're shooting for on top of, gameplay. So
Here's my biggest concern. What do you think happened that they said, hey, I have a great idea. Let's not launch it on a platform where we think there's over 10 million headsets sold. Let's launch it on a dead platform that 90% of the people have in their closet and don't want to take out.
It could be, like I said, it could be financing. Sony paid for it, and Sony says, you know what, we're getting our first month of crack shot at it, and then everybody else will get it.
But I think they said originally it was supposed to be a simultaneous launch with on all platforms. I could be wrong, but I thought that's what they said. I know they announced it for three for PC, Quest, and PlayStation.
So you're not going to play it on PlayStation VR on day one?
Oh, I'll go play it, especially if we have access to it. I'll go play it.
These are all very good questions, and they are questions that I'm going to seek answers to immediately upon the end of this episode, which, by the way, is quickly coming up. We might as well move on to the next reminder, which is the part of the show where we ask all of you to please.
I'm getting What the Bat. Just want to make sure I don't forget to pick it up. So. Eric, if you want to have a nervous breakdown, go play that game. Oh, you already played it, though. Oh. I guess this... Yeah, I guess there's no... This is the last vestige of not having audio. They can hear you now because I switched back. But yeah, so they didn't hear any. They heard everything I said. Nothing you guys said, but they can hear it now. But your velvety voices are injected into the stream.
They know the drill by now. This is the part where we ask all of you to join us in supporting our awesome development community by wishlisting a game with us right now. Something we can do really quickly that means the world to these smaller studios and bigger ones. And I was just saying that I don't know if there's any of these games that have a store page that I haven't wishlisted already.
Crazy.
Like a lot of great games on our list today, but I think they're already, all of them are on my wish list.
Big Shots probably might not be, because it's so new. Yeah, I don't know where.
There's no page for that.
You can't find any no videos, barely nothing.
Go write it down on a piece of paper that you're going to wish list Big Shots.
Yes,
I found one. Do Not Open is now on my wish list.
Is that's got a Steam page?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So anyway, lots of good stuff that we talked about today. Do Not Open, Drop Dead the Cabin, Hubris. We talked about EVERSLAUGHT Broken Edge. We talked about We Are One. We talked about Saints and Sinners 2. We talked about Hellsweeper, After the Fall. I mean, shit. Aspire 2. Been a pretty good episode, Eric. Thanks for hanging out and doing this. I know you're on vacation. Um, and like I said, you didn't have to do this, man. You didn't owe us anything. But I'm glad that you were able to find some time for us today. And I think that this has been one of the better episodes we've done in a long time.
It was good. It was good. I'm exhausted, but yeah, it was. That was a long week of shit going through all those games, man. It was not easy, but it was fun.
You're gonna get a
And,
you're gonna get a break now, or are you gonna have to go ride Space Mountain?
no, I don't know. My wife just gave me the look like, it's 8 o'clock. You've been doing this for like 4 hours. I don't know. We might ride Divorce Mountain here.
Listen.
And for the record, I asked Eric to send me a list of the stuff he wants to talk about. We didn't get to all of it. Like I cut a significant part of it out. So yeah, I guess we'll have to talk about those other games next time, right?
Definitely. There was so many games, man. That's one thing I'll finally say. VR was very well represented at Gamescom.
Without Meta or Sony.
Yeah,
Crazy, right?
that is crazy.
Anyway, that's going to bring us to our final reminder, the one that hopefully will keep Eric from getting murdered too quickly after we get off the air. That's how you can support us this week. And support us, our channel, our community, help us grow. Of course, the easiest thing for you to do if you haven't already is to click the big red subscribe button and ring the bell. This will allow you to be notified every time that we go live. And as you can see here, as you can see on our recent content, you never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates, Roots. You never know what you're going to get on this channel.
That's absolutely true. For sure.
Mandela effect.
Yeah, no, was a box of chocolates. That's right. Thanks for...
there it is. I must come from the alternate universe, right?
Yeah, I do too, by the way. So
of course, if you're already subscribed, you'd like to do a little something extra, you can do that by supporting us on Patreon, where for only $3 per month, you get access to our weekly show notes, you get insider updates, you get exclusive content, all for less than $1 per week. And man, the show notes alone, I feel like they've gotten so good and they're so full of information. That's worth the 75 cents a week that we ask from people. And you get peace of mind. You get to feel good about yourself, knowing that you contributed, you helped us build what we're working on here. So thank you to all of our patrons out there. Thank you to the people who do super chats. Well, we love you all and we appreciate it.
absolutely.
I heard that the cutting room floor might go to another show, maybe.
Well, maybe. I mean, I am sharing my notes with some new partners of mine, and the whole notes, not just the cutting room floor, just as try to save people some time doing research. Right, was my thinking behind that, and I think it's going to be good.
I was
Stay
thinking
tuned.
about that earlier, Wes. I know I said this in tongue in cheek before, but it's kind of serious. We have a lack in certain publications of news, right? It's like they're not covering the VR news anymore. They need to get Wes over there, and that's it. It's done. You have the best news in the business ahead of everybody else.
Put me in charge of Upload VR, and I can assure you, Gamescom won't go uncovered.
Yes.
Like we'll be there, and you'll know what was there.
Yep.
Like immediately while it's happening.
Absolutely. Ooh, four-wheeling. No UFC spoilers today. Maybe next week. Yeah.
Here's your UFC spoiler for today. I think I'm going to put $20 on a parlay, and at the end of that is going to be Nate Diaz to win.
Ooh.
So there's your spoiler.
There you go.
Ooh, nice.
So I think you do that. Pick a couple favorites, and then put Nate. They're way underestimating Nate Diaz and how tough he is. I'm not saying he will win. I'll say he's a lot more likely than what the odds makers say. And pick up, you do a 3-fight parlay, pick up a couple of sure thing favorites, and then put Nate as the third fight. Talking about a big payout, even with $20 bet.
You heard it here. You're guaranteed to win. Oh wait, no, there's no guarantees to win.
Guaranteed.
You're guaranteed to have a shot to win.
Anyway, what else, Roots? Oh,
Oh.
of course, the Discord. That's where we're at 24/7, 365 lurking. We don't talk, we just lurk. But we talk sometimes when people have questions, when people have interesting things to talk about, we chime in. We also hook up for multiplayer. We share music, we share movies, we share laughs, we share everything except for our wives. We don't do that.
Thank God. That would be weird, right?
Anyway, there's an invitation in the description down below. Be sure that you join us there. That's where we live when we're not sitting in front of cameras and microphones. So,
Yep.
Hope to see you there.
Absolutely.
Anyway, with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots and Eric, I'm Wes. We'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.
Take it easy.
See you later.